Good evening and welcome to Wildcats Stadium. I'm Stephen Johnston, joined alongside Evan Brazil for tonight's broadcast of Paris Wildcat football, opening District 7 4A Division I play. The Wildcats will take on the visiting Lake Dallas Falcons in what is an incredibly important game, Evan, and obviously they're all important, but for Paris in the district that they're in, man, getting started against a team like Lake Dallas can really feel like it makes or breaks your district season.
And it absolutely can. This is a game where you feel like you have to keep your momentum going with 3 top 7 teams on your schedule in district this year. This is a big one to pick up.
Absolutely. And last year, the Paris Wildcats, really did get that momentum going when they went to Corinth, Texas, and went into Lake Dallas. They were fresh off a 10-win season in Class 5A, dropped down to 4A Division I, and Paris pulled up with some would consider an upset. Others would feel like these were 2 very evenly matched teams going at it, and the Paris Wildcats came away with the win. So, same type of situation here. Both of these teams come into tonight 3-1 in their pre-district schedules, and so both of these teams certainly feeling like this will be the game that could catapult them into the playoffs. And with that said, it is also First Responders Night, Back to Blue Night here at Wildcat Stadium, and so you're going to have junior officers that are going to come out onto the field, also ceremonial coin toss by police, and so obviously something that is very near and dear to the hearts of those here at Paris ISD, and thank you guys so very much for being a part of that. As those junior officers are going to get the opportunity to come through the inflatable, and here comes at least one of them, and now the rest. They took a little tour and came up to the press box with us and hung out for a second, and now here come the Paris Wildcats, led by Chris Garcia in that black back the blue flag, and the PHS flags as well, and Lake Dallas follows shortly behind, coming out of their inflatable as well. And Evan, what are your thoughts coming into tonight's game? We got about 5 minutes until kickoff.
Well, listen, the tension is palpable in this one. You've got to start district play on the right note if you are going to contend. Some really great opportunities to kind of prove your pedigree coming later in the season. This is one you absolutely have to have. What you want to do early in this game, get your quarterback rolling, get Tyler Heath into a rhythm. Our offense against 5A White House last week, absolutely unstoppable from start to finish, and they're looking to keep that rolling.
Yeah, and on the other side, Lake Dallas is going to probably try to play a little keep away. That's what Coach Hohenberger is anticipating, is that Lake Dallas, they can throw the ball around a little bit, but they might lean on their run game to ensure that Tyler Heath and the slew of weapons behind him don't have the opportunity to get up and down the field, and those slew of weapons will include our Week 4 Paris Gameday offensive MVP, Jerron Baugh, who had nearly 140 total yards with 3 touchdowns last week against the aforementioned White House Wildcats. And it looks like we are getting our captains on the field, including for the Paris Wildcats, Cam Floyd, Chris Garcia. I also see Davion Harrison and Keyshawn Roberts and Boots Harper. And I'll tell you what, those seniors for this Paris Wildcat team have been vitally important. Chris Garcia leading the Red River Valley in tackles. This is game 5, and he is approaching 60. He has 58 tackles coming into tonight's game. And it looks like for Lake Dallas, they're going to send a quadrant out there of captains. Let's see how things go with this coin toss, because there's always a little bit of strategy that goes into the coin toss, and teams who defer, teams who accept the ball to open the game, kind of want to get that rhythm going. If you're talking about getting Tyler Heath into a rhythm, getting him rolling, then you may want to accept the kickoff should you win the coin toss. On the other side of that, there's always that 2-for-1, or as I like to say, 3 out of 4. You take the ball to start the second half. We have the toss. Teams are getting on their sides. Looks like Lake Dallas has won the toss and deferred. So that's interesting. Coach Hohenberger, like we said, anticipating that Lake Dallas would want to play keep away. And the first thing that they do is say, well, we'll give the ball to the Paris Wildcats. But again, they will get the ball to start the second half. And so that's how that strategy shapes up for the Falcons, as we will have our nation's anthem and then kick this one away from Wildcat Stadium. Have a little moment of silence prior to the anthem, and then the Blue Blazes Band will perform it for you.
Their sacrifice, and all they do to keep our community safe. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in a round of applause for these everyday heroes. Please remain standing for a moment of silence, followed by the national anthem played by the Paris High School Blue Blazes Marching Band. Thank you.
Thank you guys so very much. A wonderful rendition of our nation's anthem by the Paris Wildcat Blue Blazes Band. And so Paris, I'm really excited for them to take this opening kickoff and see what the offense can do against a Lake Dallas team that last week against Lake Worth was able to take the opening drive and go right down the field. And after that, man, the Lake Dallas defense got really stingy. They scored 7 points the remainder of the game, Lake Worth did. And so just because you get the scripted plays on that first drive to go down the field and into the end zone, Lake Dallas certainly going to make you play a full 4 quarters. And so getting Tyler Heath in a rhythm, as you said, is going to be vital here in the early goings.
Absolutely. And you got to think you like the position you're in if you're the Wildcats. I mean, you'd think if you'd won the toss, you would have been in a great position to accept it, and they'll start out with the ball.
So either way, Paris love having the football first. Thank you to our presenting sponsors here tonight, Texas Furniture and Appliance and Red River Credit Union. You guys are who make Paris Game Day possible. Marquis Shelton, along with Keyshawn Roberts, back deep for the Paris Wildcats. And a big left-footed kicker for Lake Dallas. We saw him warming up, and he was bombing away. Takes a long approach and a high short kick. And this one does take a bounce. Boots Harper pulls it down, and he'll go down about the 35-yard line. And so that's where the Paris Wildcat offense will come out. Looks like they'll officially spot them at the 34.
Boots gets to the 34-yard line. Wildcat ball, 1st and 10.
We're going to have our first opportunity at seeing Tyler Heath and this offense. And for this offense, along with Heath, is going to be Jerron Baugh, Mark Heldrick, Red Finch, Keyshawn Roberts, Boots Harper. On the offensive line, you've got the freshman, Jaquavis Allen, and we'll give you the rest after this opening snap. 4 wide for the Wildcats, and they're going to start out handing the ball off to Baugh, and he is upended immediately. They're going to give him the 35. But that's it. So a short gain on first down brings up 2nd and 9. We've also got Donovan Price, Ian Woodruff, Jaden Sims, and Jace Record rounding out the starting lineup for the Paris Wildcats, brought to you by David House Jewelry, where everything shines. Coming out to a trip set to the left, Red Finch all alone at the bottom of your screen. He's going to run a quick out and in and out of his hands, and that is not the way you want your offensive night to start with 3rd and long.
Tough drop there on the near side. We want to see Paris do here. Maybe get Tyler Heath rolling a little bit. Roll him out of the pocket here. See if he can create something with his legs.
And ball. Sprint motion and then comes back. Certainly trying to see if Lake Dallas is in a zone or man defense. And they've got 5 almost lined up in a straight line on that back end. So a very interesting formation here for Lake Dallas as Tyler Heath slings one, and it's going to fall incomplete. And that is a very quick 3 and out for the Paris Wildcats. And, of course, 4th and 9. Heath will give a look, but Heath is also the punter. So I would expect him to take a step back here in just a second. There it is. A little bit of a wobbly punt. Takes a Wildcat roll inside the 40. And that is where Lake Dallas will start this drive.
Lake Dallas will take over 1st and 10.
Well, Paris coming out, sleepy vibes on offense, and
a little bit, not just on offense, maybe a little bit on the sideline as well. So Lake Dallas out of the gate, hands it off, and this one is stuffed. Chris Garcia sticking his nose in there as he does, and it's going to be a loss of a yard. So,
and a great way to get started out. What we know about Lake Dallas is that they can run the ball with some efficiency, so great way to blow up the play and impose your will to start on defense for Paris.
Yeah, absolutely. And so 2nd down and 11 coming up. This first quarter brought to you by First Federal Community Bank. Certainly the only bank you'll ever need as Lake Dallas comes out. 3 wide at the bottom of your screen. Fake the handoff and then dump it off on the wide side, and some speed going there.
Davis pass complete to DJ Hicks.
And that is a young man that whenever I was watching Lake Dallas, that I felt he's probably the one guy that you need to be concerned about on the outside. Number 1, DJ Hicks, not a big kid. They've got him listed at 5'9", 160 pounds. But by all means, he can certainly fly, and he can show the wheels on that play.
Hicks showing off the blazing speed as he comes out to line up in the slot on this one.
Got a kind of a short pistol. Takes a snap, hand off, and great job coming off the block as Boots Harper to make that play, limit it to a 2-yard gain.
And that's your strength on defense as your Paris. Two huge, imposing guys right in the middle there in Boots Harper and Chris Garcia.
Brings up 2nd and 8 at the 46 of the Wildcats.
And you got to stop on first down just a moment ago. And then a big play from Hicks. So let's see what Davis, quarterback, is able to do. And he'll hand off once again. And this one's stuffed in the backfield. Now pushing the pile, maybe getting back to the line of scrimmage, but that'll be about it. So that'll bring up 3rd down and 8 for Lake Dallas. And they're in an interesting position on the field. Paris Wildcats side, but, 46, you kind of start thinking about, is this 4-down territory, and that'll affect your 3rd down play call.
Absolutely, and what we'll look to see here is Lake Dallas target the middle of the field or hit a quick draw on this one, set up 4th down.
Certainly try to get the ball in their playmaker Hicks' hands. There's the snap, fake the handoff, and they throw it slant, and it's open. Just got the inside position and may have just been a seam ball, actually. So once again, Paris gets Lake Dallas to 3rd and long and can't find a way to get off the field.
Cash Davis fits it into a very tight window there. If you're Paris, you want to settle into this game. You don't want to give up any explosive plays, so see if they can wake up here.
They hand off, and Paris is prepared for it. And it looks like it's going to be Robinson, the sophomore, making the stop. He'll come off the field after a loss of 2. It brings up 2nd down and 12. So just, first downs, they've got that in the book. They've put Lake Dallas behind the chains or at the line of scrimmage to create 2nd and long, 3rd and long. Lake Dallas has picked up a couple of first downs off each opportunity.
And, Steven, I think as this season goes on, we'll see Paris emerge into a very dominant run-stopping team as well.
Showing a little power to the right is Lake Dallas, and they fake that handoff, and it's coming into round, and the Wildcats have it snuffed out and finally driven out of bounds. And that'll bring up 3rd down and long. So once again, you're kind of in that same spot as earlier.
And this is another thing we know Paris does well on defense is staying home and not giving up the edge. Of course, we know DJ Hicks, an incredibly speedy player when he can get some lateral movement going, but they do well to chase him out to the boundary there.
Yeah, and if not for his speed, that would have been a much larger loss for Lake Dallas. Dropping back, looking, going deep, and this one falls incomplete. And I tell you, Lake Dallas, they're probably not going to be too thrilled with that, as they're going to feel like Gavin Young might have got grabbed and turned around.
We did see them get twisted up there, but I like them letting it play out.
I do too.
Underthrown ball, illegal contact, holding, defensive pass interference, or
so this spot on the field, they're certainly going for it. 4th and 12 from the Paris Wildcat 36-yard line. Trips at the bottom of your screen. Coach Hohenberger trying to get his guys fired up on the sideline as the back, O'Heary, switches from right to left, and they're going to throw a wide out, a long way to go, but he's going to pick up the first down. And once again, that's the tale of this opening offensive series for Lake Dallas. Paris has got them behind the chains. They've put themselves in great position with 3rd and long, that time 4th and long, and Lake Dallas has come up with big plays each time.
One thing we've seen from Cash Davis in this game is couple times fitting the ball into very tight windows. Paris drops 3 safeties on that one, and it manages to beat him underneath on the boundary.
Heavy left, takes the snap, handing off and taken down after, once again, just a gain of 1. And that's great. You know, first down defense has been terrific. Second down defense has been stellar. Third and fourth down have been a bugaboo on this drive.
Moving up to make the stop, Marquise Shelton.
As Lake Dallas changing out some personnel.
Second and 9 at the 20.
O'Hare coming out of the game. Davis out of the shotgun. Takes the snap. They hand it off right. Taken down once again. Short gain. It's going to set up third and about 7 or 8. So once again, I mean, if you can just get that kind of stop on a third and fourth down, you would be golden. You'd have the ball back right now.
Absolutely, and we know third down's the most important down in football. Defenses pride themselves on their ability to get off the field on third and fourth down, so
It's third down for the Falcons.
see if we don't see the Wildcats clamp them down here.
So third and 8, Davis takes a snap, fakes the handoff. He's throwing end zone, and this is through the hands of the intended receiver. Keyshawn Roberts in on the coverage, did a phenomenal job.
Incomplete.
And that'll bring up fourth down. It looks like they're bringing out the field goal unit. And this young man certainly has the leg for it. We saw him in warm-ups. And I guess at this point, you went for it on 4th and 12 earlier, and you got it. And I guess you can't do that all night. The kick is up, and it is good. An early 3-0 lead for Lake Dallas. The Paris Wildcats taking the kickoff when we return here on Game Day.
Yay! We're so excited you decided to become a member.
Thanks, I didn't think it would be this easy.
I know. We've opened up memberships so even more people can take advantage of our amazing services.
Are you gonna clean this up?
Become a new member and take advantage of all RRCU can offer. Experience the credit union difference anytime, anywhere.
No, seriously, are you gonna clean this up?
Do you RRCU?
3-0. The Paris Wildcat defense does end up holding down in the red zone area, limiting Lake Dallas to a field goal after starting on their own 40-yard line, and talked about how Paris had them back. 3rd and 8. There was a 4th and 12 and another 3rd and 8, and Lake Dallas continued to convert those late downs. However, electing to go for the field goal as they get a long run going, and this kick taken around the 7-yard line up to the 20, and Aldrin Gill will be stuck right there around the 22-yard line, 23.
So you're Paris, bringing your offense back on the field here. You suffered a couple big drops on that first drive, but you got to know how to shake it off in this situation. The opposing offense can, clearly they've got a quarterback who can fit it in some tight windows. They can move the ball efficiently, especially on the late downs. The first drive is any indication, so want to give Tyler Heath some layups here. Let him get into the rhythm we were talking about and get this offense kick-started.
And what's kind of funny about it is Paris, they can rotate their offensive skill players. There are hardly any guys from the first series that are in here. One guy that was in is Keyshawn Roberts, who can really go, and he'll take the pop pass and go about 7 or 8 yards, depending on which spot is official.
And I don't know about that hit. From up here, it looked like leading with the crown of the helmet and launching off the ground, but we will not see a flag come out. Paris has some incredible depth, as you mentioned, Steven, at the receiver position.
Well, yeah, they just put 2 more guys in that is their first snap of the game here on the near side. One of those being Shelton and the other one being Humphrey, standing on that 30. Shelton goes in motion. They're going to hand off and just hit right at the line of scrimmage, and that's going to bring up 3rd and short. And that was Gio Dawson, so the starting running back that we saw. Also, you have that second back in. They're going to go quick to the line. Humphrey, Shelton, and then my eyes fail me. At the top there, I think one of them is Brown. He's had a phenomenal start to his varsity career as Heath looking, surveying, kind of drifting off to his right, and then we'll throw it back, and this one will fall incomplete. And Paris Wildcats are going to be forced to punt once again, and just not a whole lot there.
Tyler Heath had a lot of time on that one. Just Lake Dallas plays man coverage on the 3rd down, and they're locked down all the way down the field.
It's a good punt off, and then takes a Lake Dallas bounce. Fortunately, the 6'3" Red Finch leaps up and pulls it back towards the Paris side.
3-yard line by Red Finch.
And so far that offense not able to get going. And one thing that Lake Dallas is doing is they're rushing 3 and dropping everyone else into coverage. But in that coverage, they also have some guys that are kind of staying flat just behind that defensive line and moving as Tyler Heath moves. And so you have coverage on the back end, and then it's almost like double spies on Tyler Heath in a way. And so whereas he's able to usually use his legs to run, you know, he sees those guys right in front of him, but then there's lots of coverage. Yeah, he has tons of time, but tons of time doesn't matter if you can't find somewhere to go with the football. Davis is going to take this one and get wrapped up by Jabraylon Hughes and then finished off by Chris Garcia. 2nd down and 9 coming up.
Neither team really able to establish the run.
Number 11, Chris Garcia.
And this is what we would like to see from Paris, is to kind of control the running game of Lake Dallas. As we anticipated in this game, Lake Dallas trying to play some keep away, dominate the time of possession, but difficult to do if you can't run the ball.
So Lake Dallas comes out 3 wide and heavy up front. And then sprinting out to the left side. And then flag comes out. This is a gain of about 4.
To be in the area of holding.
And that's what the call will be. So we will replay 2nd down. And we'll be looking at 2nd and about 19.
Yeah, Jabraylon Hughes just locked up, not able to pursue the play from the back end, and it backs him up 10 yards.
Penalty assessed to the 27-yard line. Brings up 2nd and 19 for the Falcons.
Lake Dallas trips at the top of your screen. Davis out of the shotgun. You have an ISO situation at the bottom. Lake Dallas receiver and Aldrin Gill just on an island. They're looking right, and then under pressure, he's going to escape that pressure and just throw it away, or is the catch made? Yes. Makes that catch to set up a 3rd and reasonable type situation. And they wind the clock, say keep it going. So it'll be 3rd and 4. A 15-yard completion.
3rd down and 3 to go.
From up here, looked like Lake Dallas got away with a hold, but as Paris, you're getting good pressure in this game and dominating the line of scrimmage on offense.
Here's the snap, moving to his right and taken down. Great play made out on the boundary, trying to get a look at who that is. I think that's Brandon Shores, Paris Gameday Defensive Player of the Week from last week against White House, and he comes up with a big play there to force Lake Dallas to punt.
monster tackle on the edge.
It looks like Marquise Shelton will be back to receive this punt. And it's going to take a high bounce around the 30 to the 25, and that's where Lake Dallas will take the ball, stop the clock, and the Paris Wildcat offense coming back out. And what has been, kind of an uneventful first quarter here.
Yeah, no scores with the exception of the long field goal. You really want to get something going on this drive as Paris, with a third straight 3 and out really starts to get into your head. You just want to break the barrier and pick up that first down, and that's gonna do a lot for you.
And if you can see that 3-3 kind of a bear front, and then the 3 linebackers, and then 5 DBs that line up pretty much straight across the board. And they're going to hand off, coming to the right. Ball hit after a gain of 1 or 2 maybe. And that'll set up second down and long. Neither team getting a whole lot on first down.
This Lake Dallas defense, as you mentioned, a little unorthodox, kind of, pre-snap looks like that 3-3 bear front, and they'll rush 3 on the pass and have those kind of 2 guys in the middle follow Tyler Heath, and so far it's stymied this Paris offense.
So out of the gun, fakes the handoff. Heath with plenty of time, and then throws one, has a man wide open and just can't hit him. I mean, he had a guy with nobody around him. I think that's Marquise Shelton. And just little off platform, moving to his left, didn't quite set and get a drive on that football.
Big missed opportunity. There was no one within 20 yards of him.
And with Shelton's speed, he certainly could have taken that one all the way.
Oh, yeah, that was a house call.
Third down. Once again, Lake Dallas only rushing 3. Heath getting around the defender and then going for that first down marker. Let's see where the official spot is. They got him a yard short. That's tough.
Oh, it looked like he had
And Coach Hohenberger is not thrilled.
Looks like he had managed to keep the ball in bounds, take that last step and stretch the ball over the marker, but now Paris in a massive 4th down situation.
Yeah, and, the conventional wisdom says, look, just punt. But the emotion always says, man, 1 yard. You can get 1 yard, right? So let's see what the overall decision here is. And I think Coach Hohenberger might take a timeout. He might want to think about this when he does.
Thing is, about punting, if you're Paris, your quarterback and punter are indeed the same guy, so – a fake punt is built right into your strategy there.
We'll be right back on Game Day.
We're here at the biggest game of the year for the kickoff, and I say these local guys have no competition, John.
No doubt, Stephen. Why sweat in the press box?
When you can sit like a king.
And we got the best seats in the house right here, baby.
Where every seat is the best seat.
Oh, yeah. Texas Furniture and Appliance. Local since 1927.
These players are definitely in their comfort zone.
You say something?
And we're back here on Game Day. It's a 4th and 1 situation, and, I would really hate, if I'm Coach Hohenberger, I would hate to call that timeout just to go out and punt. So I do feel like we're about to see a 4th down play from the Paris Wildcat offense at their own 34-yard line.
I couldn't agree more. Coach Hohenberger's going to reach into his bag on this one, and I think they're going to pick it up. Here come the Wildcats on 4th down.
And let's see, you got Red Finch all alone. They hand it off, and Ball breaks through, and Jerron Ball picks up the first down.
You love the strength of a guy like Jerron Baugh. They had him in the backfield. He sheds a man off, bowls into another, and picks up more than enough for the first down of the game for the Wildcats.
And I don't know, the scoreboard operator didn't start the clock until well late, so we'll align with them. Fakes the handoff, a nice fake. Heath looking, takes off, and then just can't quite hit his intended receiver once again, Marquis Shelton. And Tyler Heath just a little bit off the mark here in the first quarter.
Oh, man, I tell you, Steven, that was about 1 foot away from being an incredible off-platform sidearm sling, but we just haven't really seen him be able to set his feet. A lot of out-of-frame, off-platform throws, and
which is usually a strength of Tyler Heath. Here he'll come out 4 wide on 2nd and 10. Heath stepping up, looking. He's going to launch one. He's got Red Finch. He's going to have to come way back to the ball, and it's intercepted. And coming the other way, Lake Dallas has a lot of room to run, finally taken down. But, man, that is massive. You go for it on 4th down, you pick it up. Tyler Heath tries to let one absolutely uncork, and it comes up well short.
And we see him climb the pocket there. He's got pressure coming off the edge. He finds his way through all the mess and takes a really good throw and is able to set his feet on that one, just off target, under through his receiver.
And I really thought, picking up that 4th down was going to be something to, help the Paris Wildcats get a little amped up. There's something about them a little bit flat right now emotionally. They hand off here and taken down after a gain of about 4 or 5, and that should be the final play of the first quarter. As Lake Dallas, with a narrow 3-0 lead, will switch ends of the field and bring you the second quarter coming up right here on Paris Game Day.
Ready to rep your school and your wallet?
I'm here to open a student account and score that sweet school debit card.
With no monthly fees, mobile banking, and a debit card that shows your school pride, our student account is built for your game plan.
Get in the game. Open yours today.
First Federal Community Bank, the only bank you'll ever need.
First Federal Community Bank, the only bank you'll ever need.
And back here on Game Day, start of the second quarter. It'll be 2nd down and 4 for Lake Dallas, leading the Paris Wildcats 3-0 in a very important district matchup. And for the Paris Wildcats, guys, it's game time to wake up. They fake the handoff, and there's not a whole lot going on. I'm not sure what the situation was here, and this is out of bounds for Lake Dallas, but you also have number 70 is well up the field. I'm just saying.
Absolutely. And
number 70 standing at midfield, which is 6 yards beyond where he is allowed to be.
It's third.
They avoid the illegal man downfield on that one, and we've seen them get away with a hold a couple times, but
nope, there it is.
There. Nope.
Yeah, I didn't see a flag, and so by all means, but they got him.
Good that they picked that one up. I mean, he comes from behind the referee who's standing far beyond the line of scrimmage to hand him the ball there.
Yeah, and sometimes that flag ends up, just in a group of guys just on the ground. You don't see it. And saw the illegal man downfield, though. Was able to spot that. But here's 2nd and 9, replaying the down. And this will be interesting because you had 3rd and 4. You accept the penalty, go to 2nd and 9. Always a little bit of a conundrum to be in. And taking a hit as he lets this one go, and great play on the back end that time. And who was that? I see Aldrin Gill back there, who had a phenomenal game last week against White House. So accepting the penalty pays off. You go to 3rd and 9. Now you just got to get a stop.
And that is on the back end there, teach tape from Aldrin Gill. tracking the ball with his eyes down the field, not playing the receiver, playing the football right there, and getting a huge pass breakup.
So trips at the top of your screen, single receiver at the bottom, Red Finch, the defender. Here's the snap, looking left immediately, and under pressure, taken down. Look at that, Boots Garcia. Boots Harper comes up with the big hit, and it'll be 4th and a mile.
That speaks to the strength of Boots Harper, tearing right through the block of the left tackle there, getting both arms around tackle and quarterback and coming up with a huge sack.
Oh, and he just bull rushed right through the left tackle. And now Lake Dallas with a man coming on a little bit late.
So we saw the last time the Wildcats were on the field to receive the punt, only 10 players and a little bit of confusion, but looks to be resolved here.
Here's Finch, puts on a nice stiff arm, running around the right side. Red Finch putting on the burners, and he is finally taken down. And I'll tell you what, that might be the spark as you see a little bit of pep in the step of the Paris Wildcats as they get ready to come out on offense.
I mean, it's amazing what having 11 players will do for you.
Yeah.
An incredible return. Red Finch finding the edge, and now you're set up in a great position here.
And one thing that I think that is the biggest improvement for Red from his junior year to now his senior year is his speed. And a lot of times, sometimes a guy is who he is from his sophomore, junior, senior year. Is he fast? Is he not? Red has really turned up the dial on his top-end speed from last year to this year. Heath out of the gun, handing off, not much there. Still trying to push back to the original line of scrimmage. And that was Aldrin Gill on the carry. Second down and 10. How many times have we said something like that?
Neither team having much success running the football or on early downs. Having to rely on the ability of these two quarterbacks really to create on those later downs has been really impressive so far in this game.
4 wide, Gill. And they fake it to him, and they throw the screen inside to Shelton. Shelton around the edge, and Marquise Shelton into the end zone. It's a touchdown for the Paris Wildcats. The fake screen to Gill, and they bring it back to the left side, and Paris takes the lead.
Marquise Shelton showing just some incredible vision on the near side of the field. That play is designed, the tunnel screen there, you run towards the inside, but he finds the edge instead and takes it in for 6.
And the extra point, no good, can't hit it. And we are going to step aside. Paris leads 6-3 here on Game Day.
At Moore Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Paris, we can make your next vehicle purchase simple, stress-free, and built around you. Whether you're looking for a rugged Ram truck, an adventurous Jeep, or a quality pre-owned, we have the right vehicle for you at the right price. And with over 700 5-star reviews, our customers know that our friendly, knowledgeable staff is here for you. So come see us off the loop in Paris, Texas, and for more details, visit morecdjr.com.
All right, so there was an offside penalty on the defense. Fortunately, we were able to get back in time. And now, ball is kind of bobbling around all over the place, so it doesn't really matter, unfortunately. So it's going to continue to stay 6-3 between Paris and Lake Dallas. And we're going to keep it right here on Game Day for the time being. And, Evan, we said after that defensive series, it really seemed like the Paris Wildcats, you could see some life on the sideline. The Red Finch punt return was something that was really big. And so next thing you know, Wildcats are in the end zone.
Well, absolutely, and the Wildcats needed a shot in the arm, something to really get them pumped up and energized and get this team to wake up. The early first quarter, they looked to be past their bedtime, but they strike right back and take the lead.
So the Paris Wildcats coming back. And it'll be Mitchell to kick this one away. I believe this is his first kickoff of the night.
James Mitchell is set to kick off.
Mitchell, the sophomore. We got 2 left-footed kickers here tonight. I don't know how often that really happens. As Mitchell puts a high, short one in the air and taken by Lake Dallas around the 30 and covered up at the 31, 32-yard line. And
we see Ryan Young of Lake Dallas take that kickoff in right on the sideline. You think in all likelihood if he lets that one go, it's out of bounds and they're lining up 5 yards down the field.
Wildcat fans, how about pumping up that defense? Let's go.
so Lake Dallas coming out with 3 wide, top of your screen. Here's the snap, sprint right, and picking up some yardage, turning that corner.
Ben Allen, quarterback keeper.
So we see a different quarterback check in the game for Lake Dallas.
Now there is a flag down, they said. And that's a hold. So just as Lake Dallas gets something going, they've hit some big passes, especially on that first drive. But since then, there has been nothing in the run game all day, and then they haven't really been able to get anything going in the passing game since that opening drive as well.
Absolutely. If you're Lake Dallas, starting to see the game flow turn against you, you wonder, Lake Dallas quarterback Cash Davis able to make some really tight window throws early in this game, but now replaced at quarterback by Ben Allen.
Now, this is interesting because they mark off about 5 yards. This one's going down the field. Is this intercepted? Paris comes up with this football, and it will be the Wildcats taking over on offense.
Oh, wow. One-on-one running down the boundary, defensive back versus receiver. I mean, that's the closest thing you get to an at-bat in football. They go right up against each other, and
Brenton Wallace comes up with it, and, I mean, he was stuck to him like glue.
That's how you earn reps if you're a defensive back right there.
Well, we talk about offensively how they could just rotate guys. There's a ton of dudes that they can use. And defensively, there's been times when, we have so many guys on offense, we want to spare them so they can play. And when Wallace is able to come up with a play like that, you're absolutely right.
It was a well-placed ball. He just wanted it more. Incredible.
Flag comes out on this first down run for the Paris Wildcats. And, of course, that's usually in the area of holding.
Ryan Hopkins in on the stop.
That penalty, offensive holding, such a drive killer.
Penalty assist back to the 33-yard line of the Wildcats. Still first down.
Lake Dallas only giving up 14 points. Let's see if we can see Paris keep that same momentum going on offense.
Trips, bottom of your screen. Here's the snap. Heath looking, throwing, and once again a little bit off the mark for Tyler Heath.
A bit of a miscommunication there. Aldrin Gill never got his head back for the ball.
And also it's 2nd and 20. There was the hold on that first down run. So Paris has quite a ways to go. We got to get to the Lake Dallas side of the field to the 47 for a first down. And 2nd and 20 feels like it eliminates the possibility of running the football, but if you're going to do it, you have to do it here. And they're going to drop back to throw. Heath looking, and he'll take off himself and pick up most of the penalty yardage.
Tyler Heath on the keeper for the Wildcats.
And that's tough for Lake Dallas. You know, that double spy floating in the middle of the field, the two zones there, and still not able to corral Heath as he climbs the pocket and gets an impressive gain. 3rd and 20 is a lot harder than the 3rd and 11 they find themselves in now.
So Heath checking to the sideline. Brown, Shelton, and Record. The receivers to the near side, and it looks like Red Finch, short side, top of the screen. Shotgun, snap back. And they're setting up the screen, and it goes nowhere. You had a lot of, once again, just looks like miscommunication.
Absolutely. Tyler Heath, and hey, he has a lot of weapons, but he and his receivers have just been out of sync tonight. That's the 2nd straight passing play where we just see a receiver not looking back for the ball.
Well, and he threw back more towards the middle of the field, and it looked like ball was kind of cutting out towards the left side, and here's a fair catch called. And that's where Lake Dallas will take over.
Falcons at the 23-yard line. Well, they'll take over 1st and 10.
And you got to figure at some point Lake Dallas, will get their offense rolling a little bit. But this is a very different look than what we've seen in 3 of the 4 weeks so far for the Paris Wildcats, where they put up 35 points against Sanger in that first week. And then they put up back-to-back weeks of 48 and 52.
Absolutely. If you're Paris, this is a situation you haven't really found yourself in so far this season, in the kind of more of a defensive battle that you're leading.
Here's a snap, and picking up about 4 yards on 1st down.
Kevin O'Hare on the carry. Gets to the 26-yard line. 2nd down and 6 for the Wildcats. Correction for the Falcons.
So Lake Dallas coming out 3 wide. Tight end kind of shuffles over to a H-back position to the left side, and they're going to try to run there, but not much doing. It'll bring up 3rd and 5.
O'Hare again on the carry. Esteban Guzman with the stop for the Wildcats.
We've seen not many teams this year have success trying to run it into the middle of this defense.
Yeah, pretty much Pleasant Grove probably had the most success, I would say, this year. Outside of that, not a whole lot doing. As Lake Dallas facing 3rd and 5. And Davis is back in the game, and they're going to blow this play dead. Let's see. Lake Dallas calls a timeout, and Coach Hohenberger, he gives that look like, oh, are you kidding me? But timeout, Lake Dallas, 6-3. Paris leading here on game day.
Sorry you're under the weather, Susie. Here are those loan docs.
Thanks, James. I'm so glad we didn't have to delay this closing.
Tissue?
Thanks.
Secure and safe loan closings, or take care of just about any banking task. Experience the credit union difference. Anytime, anywhere. With RRCU's digital banking. Do you RRCU?
And back here on game day, 3rd down and 5. And, boy, you talk about a timely timeout.
You're Lake Dallas. You're looking at a much different situation.
Yeah, you are loving your coach for that one. Coach Young gets the timeout, or else it would be 4th down and a mile. Instead, they come back to 3rd and 5, fake the handoff, and right up the seam, wide open. Wallace is going to catch him, but by all means, that is a big gain and just leaked him out, you know, showed a lot of heavy bodies up front. And then leaked out that fullback, you know, the most unsuspecting guy, a guy with a 40-something on his jersey. And I don't think he was 40-something. I'm just saying that's typically the guy that you never think about in the passing game.
You're kind of Kyle Juszczyk type. And
yeah. Oh, I'd expect Kyle Juszczyk, though.
Tough break with the busted coverage there if you're Paris.
So Davis giving a check at the line. Here's the snap. Right side, and this is going to be a flag coming out. Yeah, this was a pretty easy call.
Penalty marker on the field, pass incomplete.
That's going to be a holding call.
You're just, as a defensive back, you're expected to be just so highly intelligent, understanding coverages, how a receiver's going to go into his break, and just what contact will be considered marginal versus a penalty. And it's a lot on these guys' plate. Now that holding sets up Lake Dallas in a more sure situation. See if Paris can't use the compressed field and get a big stop right here.
The ever so rare 1st down and 2 for Lake Dallas. It's holding as a spot foul. Well, that's what they had on the, and then there's a busted coverage on the back end. A flag does come out. This might be a little push off. I said 1st down and 2. That's what they had on the scoreboard. It's 1st and goal.
So absolutely looked like a push off from up here.
Flag came out immediately.
I mean, the slant is the most. It's going to be the most obvious route there, and be very uncharacteristic to blow the coverage on the inside.
And I'm one of those guys. Look, I'm running a slant every chance I get in a situation like that. You just got to get across the face of the defender. Where's the safety? Where's the linebacker dropping to? Identify it. If those guys aren't in the area to jump it, then that's where you're going every time.
What I will note on this drive, Cash Davis back in at quarterback. We did get to see Ben Allen with a chance on the previous drive. Gosh, that hurt. That backs him all the way up to the 21.
They'll officially mark him around the 22, 23. Here's the snap. And they're kind of fighting away from a couple of defenders. But it'll set up 2nd down. And remember, this is goal. So 2nd and goal from the 23, it looks like.
Kevin O'Hara on the carry.
By the way, scoring update, Sulphur Springs leading Aubrey 17-7. That one approaching halftime. And then Salina and Panther Creek tied up 7-7 with 9 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter. Here we've got a 6-3 ball game with the Paris Wildcats leading, and Lake Dallas facing 2nd and goal from the 23-yard line. Davis out of the gun, under pressure, is able to escape but still being chased and finds a man across the middle, broken up, and a flag comes out. They're going to say he got there just a little bit early, and that is going to hurt because that'll be a 1st down.
Flag on the play.
And that's tough. I do think he got there a touch early, but, man, that was a pretty good play made on the back end by Paris. It's kind of one of those does he call it or not type of situations.
Split second kind of timing that you have to have on that play. And I tell you, the pressure up the middle on that one saved a touchdown. He had a receiver wide open in the end zone with Red Finch running a bit behind him, and that pressure saved the score.
And now a false start. So we've got Flags flying all over the place. It'll still be 2nd and goal. Back them up to the 13-yard line.
And penalties are so huge in this area of the field. In terms of expected points added, taken away, even just 5 yards can, in terms of expected value, be the difference of 3 or 4 points.
I'm keeping an eye on number 1 for Lake Dallas, Hicks. Instead, they'll run it, and just kind of emerging from out of nowhere, Lake Dallas finds themselves in the end zone. They were 1st and goal from the 7, and then 1st and goal from the 23, and then 2nd and goal from the 7, 2nd and goal from the 13. I mean, this was a wild conclusion to this drive, and it ends with Lake Dallas in pay dirt.
Kind of lost track of the football on that one.
Yeah. I mean, he was just buried in a pile and then just, bam, came out of nowhere. 10-6, Lake Dallas with the lead. The Paris Wildcat offense coming back out when we return here on Paris Game Day.
Hey, I'm Josh Surrett, project manager with 2B Builders. We're a local GC here in Texarkana. We have Lone Star out here doing our heating and AC. They do a good job for us. We really appreciate the customer service that they provide. I know that at Lone Star Heating and Air, I can always call Matt or Dave, their head commercial HVAC guy, and they will always pick up the phone when I need them. And that's a big thing when we're working out here on these commercial projects. Usually when we're in a bind, we need something and we need it pretty quickly, and we can rely on Lone Star for that.
And we're back here on Game Day. It'll be the Paris Wildcats to receive this kickoff, and they'll send the usual crew back deep. That'll be Marquise Shelton along with Jerron Ball, and it looks like Shelton is going to be out there. I should just get binoculars at this point. The days of me having sharper vision are subsiding.
Dennehy ready to kick off for the Falcons.
I would love to see an opportunity for Ball to kind of, we haven't seen Ball get a lot of kickoff return opportunities this year. You know, sometimes they're sending Gill back there and Keyshawn Roberts. We talk about the weapons. And so for Ball, and look at him rotating.
We know this kicker can boom it. We would love to see him have an opportunity.
And he launches one. This will go back into the end zone, and the Paris Wildcats will come out led by their quarterback Tyler Heath, hoping to get on the same page as his receivers. You know, that's kind of been the story of the offense. There's been opportunities for big plays. They've left them on the field.
Absolutely. If you're Paris, you have just an absolute plethora of weapons on offense at the receiver position and at running back. I would continue to drop Tyler Heath back. If they're going to rush 3 guys on every snap, I would drop him back again and again and again. Let him establish the synchronization with those receivers. Let him get into a rhythm and just really start to run up and down the field.
Well, you can see here, you know, just 5 in the box. Let's just count, run the ball. Here's the snap, count, hand off, pushing forward.
That's been your trouble if you're Paris. Even just running
Flag
into
comes
these
out late.
Light boxes.
Yeah, you feel like running into a light box. You know, that's what I was doing. 3 down linemen, 2 linebackers. Okay, everybody else in the secondary. Let's go man on man, hat on hat, hand off to Ball. And they pick up 3, and then a flag comes out, and Lake Dallas certainly believes that this is on the Paris Wildcats. Dead ball, personal foul.
To be in the area of unsportsmanlike conduct, maybe pleasantries being exchanged after the play there. You know, if you're Paris, you'd think you have the numbers advantage there at the first level. You want to be able to run efficiently, pick up 3 or 4 yards, but they've struggled to find space in the interior of this defense.
And so for the Paris Wildcats, that backs them up to the 13-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 22. you don't replay the down. It happened after the play, so a dead ball personal foul hurts you even more. Heath takes the snap, fakes the handoff, and another flag comes out. This is going to be a hold. Even though this is finally going to be a big play for the Paris Wildcats, it's not going to matter. That's terrific, but it's coming back and going back even further. And I know I can hear kind of some groans from the Paris fans, but yeah, I saw it up here.
As a small consolation, I think at this point you're going half the distance to the goal, but that sets you up with an extraordinarily difficult down and distance. And what is that, 2nd and 25?
Oh, it'll be closer to 30.
It's back there. 2nd in a Walmart parking lot, as I like to say.
We'll let the scoreboard operator do the math. You don't want this UNT math happening over here, guys. I don't think they're caring to do the math either. They haven't changed it yet either. So here's the snap. Heath rolling out to his right, has a man, throws a dart. It's caught and escaping and picking up the first down. How about that?
Monster plays. That Jaron Baugh? I believe it is.
And Jaron Baugh is the young man who made the catch a while ago. And actually, let's see, no, that's Jeremiah Humphrey.
18 Jeremiah Humphrey. Incredible shedding off the tackler there to pick up the first down.
They're going to throw out to Shelton. Shelton breaks a tackle and picks up about 6 on first down. So the Paris Wildcats offensively, you know, you're getting some things rolling here. And they're going to quickly go hurry up. They pretty much say, we're going to run the same play. And it goes right back to Shelton. And Shelton, and another flag down. And it's interesting, the far side official threw this one. And this play came to the near side. There are 2 flags, one far side, one near side. We're still
maybe in the area of defensive holding on the far side.
Play, both by the defense. 12 men on the field. That penalty is declined. All sides. That penalty is also declined.
And you know your scheme works if the defense runs out with 12 men and you can still find some space on the edge.
Well, if, you know, too many men on the field and they get an early jump on the snap, and you still pick up the first down.
See, I would just, if I'm Paris here, I'd continue to throw it over and over and over again. If they're going to rush 3 guys, I'm gonna have my smart quarterback sit back and pick this secondary apart.
Hard pump, then rolling out to the right side, throwing back to the middle of the field, and Brown can't hold on to it. Now, let's say, hold on. Okay. Official comes in, waving incomplete. One came in standing as if we're spotting the ball, baby, but
it looked like it had popped right out of the hands of Brown into the waiting arms of another Wildcat receiver.
It did hit the ground.
Fabian Brown, the intended receiver.
And Fabian Brown, a sophomore, like I promise you that there will be days he makes that play as Paris hands off, ball, picking his way through. He's going to pick up about 4 to 5 on this run. And that sets up 3rd down and 6.
If you're Paris, that's one of your more successful runs of the night.
Let's go Wildcats.
Struggled to get anything going on the ground, but rolling on this drive.
Hard snap from Heath. And now we have a flag. False start, Paris. Boy.
That changes things.
These yellow flags are going to have grass stains on them, and we don't even have grass out here.
Still 3rd and 11. With how Tyler Heath has been able to climb the pocket, move out on the edge, I don't feel terrible about it, especially here in plus territory in kind of a 4-down situation.
I'm trying to hit Marquise Shelton on a little bang 8 on this 3rd down. Here's the snap. Rolling out to his right side, looking and throwing and sliding to make the catch. And I think that's Shelton.
Jermarius Shelton. An incredible diving catch. I mean, it looked to be a bit of an ill-advised throw by Tyler Heath into a few bodies, but receiver able to make an incredible catch and maybe bail out the decision by his quarterback.
We have a timeout. 10-6, Lake Dallas with the lead. Paris knocking on the door. We'll be right back on Game Day.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jason with Golden Corral in Texarkana. I've got big cheers going out to Lone Star Heating and Air. I talked with Matt Shirley over at Lone Star Heating and Air. They actually came out, looked to see what we needed. They ordered the supplies or the equipment and everything. They came in and they did the install. They did 2 units in one day with no business disruptions whatsoever. Thanks to Lone Star Heating and Air, we got our air up and going and everything's running good.
And back here on Game Day, our first half timeouts brought to you by David's Meat Market. Thank you guys so very much for being a part of Paris Game Day, making this happen for our community and for these kids. And it'll be first down for Paris, right on the edge of the red zone. Red Finch lining up, top of the numbers on the 20. And split backfield out of the shotgun. And they'll hand it off out of that formation.
Drawn ball on the carry, look at the running room. Short gain on the play.
Wildcats set up from a pretty difficult situation. Just
for the Falcons.
Put in the red zone by an incredible catch from Jermarius Shelton. I mean, that could change the complexion of this entire game.
And now you're kind of looking at the clock as well. Dropping back, plenty of time. Throwing end zone. And, oh, what a phenomenal throw. Just couldn't quite hang on to it is Red Finch. I mean, brother, it was on the money.
Absolutely excellent coverage. And as you mentioned, Steven, Lake Dallas will receive the second half kickoff. So you start to think about maybe taking a little more time off this clock if you can. Obviously, short, condensed field here, but...
Well, not only that, but it's third down. Heath, he wanted it all on that throw as Paris comes out 4 wide. Showing pressure is Lake Dallas, and they do, and this one is going to be, once again, off the hands of the receiver. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Brings up 4th down and 8 to go for the Wildcats.
Now 4th and 7. And Coach Hornberger wants a timeout.
If you make a field goal from the spot if you're Paris, you're still down in this game. That was kind of the first time we've seen Lake Dallas bring pressure so far, and maybe Tyler Heath not expecting 5 rushers, you know, more than the 3 they've brought on every passing down so far.
So we're going to keep it right here on Paris Game Day as Paris facing 4th down. And, you know, we talked about this when Paris spent their first timeout. You know, if it's 4th down and you're calling a timeout, you're not punting. Now, in this situation, if you're calling a timeout, you're not kicking. You're going to discuss and make for certain what it is you want to do and make sure that you get it applied correctly on the field.
Absolutely. Paris emphasizing execution. See them reach into their bag. I mean, 4th and 7. This is it's a difficult situation to scheme for. We'll see how they come out.
Ball. Finch. Also see Kentrell Patterson, another sophomore out there. Out of the shotgun on 4th down. Here's the snap. Ball Heath under pressure. Dumps it off underneath. Has a man. It's Marquise Shelton in for the touchdown. The Paris Wildcats score on 4th down.
Wildcat touchdown.
Marquise Shelton.
Makes a second monster play on this drive. May have changed the complexion of this entire game with Lake Dallas getting the ball and the second half kickoff.
The extra point attempt is up, and it is good. Thank you very much, Lone Star Collision Center, for bringing us extra points here tonight. 3:14 to go in the half. Paris Wildcats leading a tough district opener against Lake Dallas, 13-10. Kickoff coming up on game day.
At Raffaelli Property Management, keeping our tenants comfortable is a top priority. That's why we trust Lone Star Heat and Air. They've always been dependable, quick to respond, and their work is top-notch. Whether it's routine service or an urgent call, they take care of it with professionalism and care. We couldn't recommend Lone Star Heat and Air more for anyone looking for a reliable HVAC service.
And back here on game day, second quarter tonight, brought to you by Moore CDJR. Thank you very much, Montgomery Moore, for bringing Paris game day to Lamar County. That's one of the many people who made this happen for you guys, so thank you very much. Also, if you're tuning in on Facebook, be sure to give it a share so the community can know where to watch the Paris Wildcats as Mitchell approaches this ball and kicks it away, taken around the 20 by Lake Dallas. And a little bit of running room pursued by the Paris Wildcats across the 35, and that is where the Lake Dallas Falcons will take over with just over 3 minutes to go into the half. Now, vital defensive stand coming up for the Paris Wildcats. One timeout for Lake Dallas.
Absolutely. This, right, what you're about to see is the most important possession of the game so far. Lake Dallas absolutely cannot have a short drive here or go 3 and out and give the ball right back to the Wildcats. Conversely, the Wildcats absolutely cannot allow them to put up points on this drive and then receive the second half kickoff.
Davis, hands off, sprint to the left side, a little bit of running room, and taken down after a gain of 7.
Bryce Thurman on the carry.
And we haven't seen that. That might be the second longest run of the night. They, of course, had the touchdown run. Other than that, that 7-yard run might be their longest of this evening.
7 on the play, 2nd and 3 at the 45.
Paris showing a little bit of pressure from those edges. Haven't heard much from Hicks, their stud, speedy wide receiver in the slot at the bottom. Here's the snap, handoff, and this one has a long way to go. This is a really nice run, and suddenly Lake Dallas, they're finding a little bit of a groove.
Good open field tackle. I mean, it looked like he had nothing but space in front of him, but like Shores on the edge, able to shed his block and make a big tackle to prevent the longer gain.
And let's see if Lake Dallas decides to just line up and run it down the throats. And here, a little trickeration, and there was nothing the Paris Wildcats were fooled about. And Coach Hornberger certainly, and rightfully so, wanting a penalty, as after the play, it looked like a Lake Dallas player just slung a Paris Wildcat from behind to the ground. But nonetheless, that's going to be the 2-minute timeout newly applied to high school football this year. Paris Wildcats leading 13-10. We'll be right back here on Paris Game Day.
Yay! We're so excited you decided to become a member.
Thanks, I didn't think it would be this easy.
I know. We've opened up memberships so even more people can take advantage of our amazing services.
Are you gonna clean this up?
Become a new member and take advantage of all RRCU can offer. Experience the credit union difference anytime, anywhere.
No, seriously, are you gonna clean this up?
Do you RRCU?
Out of the 2-minute timeout, let's bring you some scores from District 7-4A Division 1. Sulphur Springs leading Aubrey at the half, 24-7. And Salina has taken the lead at their 2-minute timeout, 14-7. Meanwhile, the East Texas Stunner assuming this score is correct on the Dave Campbell's app, which you know how that can be. 42-10 Commerce over top-ranked Winsboro as Lake Dallas sets up the screen and executes it beautifully for a big first down.
Bryce Thurman really shining on this drive. His third explosive play we've seen him involved in. Well, Paris almost looking for, it's just searching for answers defensively on this drive.
Yeah, and not only that, but that ball was on him whenever he turned and caught it. Here, slipping down after a gain of about 2. Now, the kicker has a big leg, so they're probably right around his range. This would be a pretty stellar high school kick, but nonetheless, they are right on that doorstep with the clock ticking down towards 1 minute. Fake the handoff, and Red Finch gets there in time to make the play. It'll go incomplete, and that sets up 3rd and 8.
Amazing timing by Red Finch there. Applying the contact as soon as the ball arrived and preventing saving a touchdown out there one-on-one on the boundary side.
Now remember, Lake Dallas gets the ball to start the second half. So a pretty crucial moment here on 3rd down and 8 for Lake Dallas. Back switches from left to right. Out of the shotgun, Davis, man in motion. Fakes that handoff, looking deep, throwing deep, and falling incomplete. And no flags, so that'll be 4th down and 8.
That's what you love to hear, no flags.
Yeah.
As it seemed, they had gotten tangled up across the goal line.
Well, make no mistake about it, there was some hand action. You know, they're both kind of going at it, and that's why you keep the flag in the pocket, because both guys are kind of doing the same thing, so you go a wash. And now the field goal attempt, and he bombs this one through, and that one had an extra 15 yards minimum on it. And we got a tie ball game here at Wildcat Stadium, 13-13. We'll be right back with kickoff coming up on Game Day.
We're here at the biggest game of the year for the kickoff. And I say these local guys have no competition, John.
No doubt, Stephen. Why sweat in the press box?
When you can sit like a king.
And we got the best seats in the house right here, baby.
Where every seat is the best seat.
Oh, yeah. Texas Furniture and Appliance. Local since 1927.
These players are definitely in their comfort zone.
You say something?
Bryson Burks, Christian Rojas, Andres Correa, Jose De La Cruz Garcia, and Green Viveros. Somebody make some noise for the man. Oh, y'all the cat gut. Yeah, the cat gut. I'll get that right. Cat gut, yes.
And we are back here on Game Day as Paris Wildcats ready to receive this one. A timeout, 57 seconds. It'll be interesting to see kind of which direction this one goes, as Brown will take it, and Brown looking to follow some blockers. There's a little space if he can squeeze through, and then finally brought down at around the 34-yard line. So let's see. Now 48 seconds.
It depends on how you feel about your 2-minute drill, but 48 seconds and one timeout really could be a long time.
And it really is going to depend, honestly, on your first 2 plays.
Absolutely. High school kind of similar to college. You know, the clock stops while they're moving the chains, so you could do a lot with the 48 remaining seconds in this half.
Which also means you can use any part of the field. Paris running a man on late. Here's the snap, and they hand it off. And so Paris They're going to jump back on the ball. You kind of do that to see if you can pop one. 2nd down and 5.
Devin Hopkins.
Quickly snap the ball. Good operation there, and they go right back to ball. And he'll pick up a yard. And the last thing that you kind of want to do is get in that scrum where you're pushing and you're continuing to pick up yards, but not nearly at the clip that you want. And I think Coach Hohenberger says that'll do. We'll head into the half. We want to take care of the football here. So that'll do it. Tie ball game, 13-13 between Paris and Lake Dallas to open up District 7 4A Division I play. We will be right back with Mr. Bo Willis from First Federal Community Bank talking about why they're the only bank that you'll ever need. You're watching Paris Wildcat football here on Game Day.
Ready to rep your school and your wallet?
I'm here to open a student account and score that sweet school debit card.
With no monthly fees, mobile banking, and a debit card that shows your school pride, our student account is built for your game plan.
Get in the game. Open yours today.
First Federal Community Bank, the only bank you'll ever need.
First Federal Community Bank, the only bank you'll ever need.
At Moore Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Paris, we can make your next vehicle purchase simple, stress-free, and built around you. Whether you're looking for a rugged Ram truck, an adventurous Jeep, or a quality pre-owned, we have the right vehicle for you at the right price. And with over 700 five-star reviews, our customers know that our friendly, knowledgeable staff is here for you. So come see us off the loop in Paris, Texas, and for more details, visit moorecdjr.com. At Moore.
Hey, I'm Josh Charette, project manager with 2B Builders. We're a local GC here in Texarkana. We have Lone Star out here doing our heating and AC. They do a good job for us. We really appreciate the customer service that they provide. I know that at Lone Star Heating and Air, I can always call Matt or Dave, their head commercial HVAC guy, and they will always pick up the phone when I need them. And that's a big thing when we're working out here on these commercial projects. Usually when we're in a bind, we need something and we need it pretty quickly, and we can rely on Lone Star for that.
And we're back here on Game Day, and we've got Bo Willis from First Federal Community Bank with us. And Bo, first and foremost, thanks for joining us in the studio.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And out of the gate first so far, what are you thinking of the ball game here tonight?
Man, defensive struggle early on. I like the way the Paris offense was moving towards the end of the half there, but first quarter, I thought we were going to have to get Jerry Jones to call that Paris ISD defensive coaching staff get some tips.
Yeah, and of course, Paris got it rolling a little bit. Man, a lot of flags, and at a certain point, kind of in the beginning of that second quarter, and it felt like it lulled a little bit, but nonetheless, we knew that this district was going to be tough. We knew it was going to be a struggle all the way around, week in and week out. This is the type of game that you can expect to see in 7-4A Division I. So, Mr. Willis from First Federal Community Bank joining us, and tell us what you guys have going on at FFBC.
Yeah, so as you saw in our commercial early on in the broadcast, we have the school debit card program where if any checking account, if you support a local school, you can get the logo of the school embossed on the card. If you use that card as a credit transaction, the school actually gets a portion of that transaction money back to the school every year. In fact, Paris ISD, since our program started in 2009, has received almost $50,000 worth of money back to the school just from that program alone.
Man, that is absolutely incredible, of course, and the schools, we know that, we're in an interesting place with education and everything of that sort. So every dime that we can get back to our schools is certainly vital.
Absolutely. No, it's vital to the community and vital to the schools. We just want to give back any way we can, and this is just one way we can do that.
100%. So if, whether you're a Paris Wildcat who is tuned in, couldn't make it to the game tonight. Hate that for you. Thank you very much for tuning in to Paris Game Day to catch the action. Or maybe you are out at that Chisholm game, or you're out at that North Lamar game. I would say Prairieland, but Prairieland played last night, keeping that in mind. But you guys, no matter what it is, surrounding area schools as well. Clarksville Tigers, Detroit Eagles, Cooper Bulldogs, Honey Grove Warriors, Rivercrest Rebels, and you guys have a Mount Pleasant branch, so folks in Mount Pleasant.
That's right. So our Clarksville branch has local schools to that area, Mount Pleasant, local schools to that area. We just try to give back any way we can to those local communities.
Exactly, and that's why you guys are a community bank. And if you can, tell us a little bit about what that means to be a community bank.
Yeah, so what's unique to First Federal is we are actually one of very few mutuals left in the country. And what a mutual is we're owned by the customers, not stock held. And so when we have a good year, when things are going great, as banks normally will, we are able to provide better and more convenient service to the customer base because we are owned by our customers. So the more customers we have, the better we do, the more we can give back to them.
So I don't know if you'll get this reference, but so y'all are the Green Bay Packers.
We are the Green Bay Packers. We are owned by the fans.
There you go. And I think that is such a really, really cool thing and I mention that because, of course, that's who my Dallas Cowboys are playing coming up on Sunday Night Football. A little shameless plug there. But, yeah, they're owned by the fans, which is amazing. And so that's actually a pretty good comparison for you guys.
Absolutely. It's the perfect comparison.
So with that said, First Federal Community Bank, what other things do you guys offer? Obviously, we talked about the school debit cards, gives money back to the schools, what makes a community bank, but what else separates you guys? What do y'all offer?
Yeah, so we currently have a product, a student checking account. Any teenager that wants to come open an account with the bank, as long as they have a legal guardian on the account with them, can open up a checking account. They have a debit card that's attached to the account. They can use our online banking feature, which I think is pretty great. It teaches them the importance of budget, finance, things of that nature. That way, whenever they get to adulthood and they can take ownership of that account on their own, they already have a very good base for how banking works, and I think that's something that's very needed in our communities.
Oh, 100%. I think it's something that's needed everywhere, and one of those things, if I could take it a step further, is just financial literacy, just knowing exactly how these things work, how you can benefit. It's more than just checking accounts and, debit cards and things of that nature. You can actually, go in and invest. Absolutely. Even if you have a small amount, there's no better time to get started. Well, 10 years ago, probably.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
that's the saying is the best time to get started was 10 years ago. The next best time is right now.
Right now. Yes, sir. Anytime you can come in and we can teach you a thing or two about how banking works. I just think it better prepares you for adulthood. And so that's the point of that account, is to get the information out there for those kiddos.
And there are even programs where you can have the opportunity for your money to grow.
Absolutely. All accounts are interest bearing. However, we have several products and services: CD accounts, savings accounts, money market accounts. We offer a full service bank, and so we're not just there to take care of your checking accounts. We're there to help you make money on your money. We're also there in a full service loan capacity. 100%.
So you guys be sure that you get started early. Even if you're a student, it may not be the thing that's on your mind right now. You want to go buy the thing for your truck or car or vehicle or whatever the case may be. But even if you're just periodically throwing in $5, even if you're just periodically throwing in $10 or your loose change even, sure, those types of things, you would be absolutely stunned at over time how that can accumulate and how that can benefit you down the road. And I know that it is so hard as a young person to think about 10 years, 15, 20 years down the road. But that is a very key formula to what successful people do.
Absolutely. Compound interest is a heck of a thing. And, anytime anybody wants more information on those products or how that helps you grow financially, we're always available to answer those questions and take them under our wing and see if we can help them out.
There you go. Appreciate it greatly. Let's talk about the second half of this ball game here. So obviously a tight one, 13-13. last couple of weeks, the Paris Wildcats have put up 48, 52 points. They've had huge gains through the air, huge gains on the ground. Both have been working hand in hand. So, Bo, what do you think it's going to take for the Paris Wildcats to kind of get back on track offensively in the second half here?
Yeah, I mean, the proof's in the pudding for them. I mean, the past couple of weeks, they've put up big scores, and a lot of it is just on the backs of the coaching staff and putting them in a position to succeed. It looks like these kids are kind of getting into a rhythm as the game goes on. The first half may be a little bit slow because of the flags, a defensive struggle. But I think if they just stick to their game plan, make a couple of adjustments, I think they'll do just fine in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that said, defensively, for the Paris Wildcats, I've been pretty happy in large part. There's been some times where they've given up the big play, and especially when they've gotten Lake Dallas to 3rd and 8 or 4th down, and they've been able to convert. But all in all, you give up 13 points and a half to a team like Lake Dallas. Personally, I'm pretty pleased with that, so I would like to see the defense lead the way in the second half. They're going to have to, like Dallas starts to take the opening kickoff to start the second half. But otherwise, Bo, get that initial stop, score, and kind of take control of this ball game.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to stop Lake Dallas several times, and just unfortunate plays on 4th down where they were able to either get a first down or a big play happened. I think the coaches will probably get them in there, give them a game plan, fundamentally sound football, and they should be able to take this one home.
All right, Bo, any final thoughts? It can be on the game. It can be on First Federal Community Bank. Either way you want to go.
Man, I just want to thank you for having me on. Just remind everybody that First Federal's been around for 103 years now, serving Paris, Lamar County, Red River County, Titus County, and surrounding areas. We're here for anything you need. Just come by and see us. We'll answer any questions you have and get you set up the right way.
All right. Thank you so very much. And for you guys watching on Paris Game Day, I hope you enjoy the latter portion of Lake Dallas's band, and coming up, it will be the Paris Wildcat Blue Blazes band here on Game Day.
Directors for Lake Dallas High School Falcon Band are Michaela Pyle, Brandon Kofall, Jeff Garza, and Tori Villa. Directors for the Lake Dallas Middle School are Felicia May and Kyle Kimmons. The section of the week is the clarinet section, and the member of the week is Jonathan Saldana. Principal of Lake Dallas High School is Dr. Colleen Grindle, and Superintendent of Lake Dallas ISD is Dr. Kristen Brown. The Falcon Band would like to wish the Paris Band program a good season and best of luck at their marching contest this year. Go Falcons!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we proudly present the Paris High School Blazettes under the direction of Amber Musgrove. Blazette officers are Lieutenant Zadie Guzman, Lieutenant Kylie Davis, and Captain April Medina. Blazette of the Week is Mary Cruz Tenorio. Tonight, the Blazettes will be performing their routine to the hit song Born This Way, played by the amazing Paris High School Blue Blazes Band. Thank you, Wildcat Nation, for your continued support, and we hope you enjoy their performance. To continue the halftime performance, please welcome to the field the Paris High School Blue Blazes Band. The band is under the field direction of drum majors Stephanie Gutierrez, Malia Nichols, and Jewel Amori. The soloists tonight are Miranda Hernandez on alto saxophone and Sandy Gomez on flute. Wildcats of the Week are Lily Bennett, Hokabit Guzman, Kennedy Noves, and Chloe Easton. Section of the Week is the bass line. At the edge of the world, where nature is still wild, mysterious colors weave their way through the night sky. Tonight, we are presenting our first and second movements entitled Dance One and No Place Like Home. Please enjoy the Paris High School Blue Blazes Band and Skyfire.
And we're back here on Paris Game Day, where the Paris Wildcats headed for their inflatable, which means we've got second half action right around the corner. And Evan, as we get ready for the second half, what are your thoughts? What are the Paris Wildcats going to have to do to break this 13-13 tie and come out of here with district win number 1?
Yeah, here we are, Steven, right in the middle of a dogfight at the beginning of district play. Let me tell you what I'm doing if I'm Coach Hohenberger. On defense, I am dialing up some pressure. I'm going to get right in this young quarterback's face. I'm going to get right in the face of Cash Davis and really impose my will. We've seen them, we've seen him fit some throws into some tight windows, but I believe if you can get some pressure on him, you can absolutely wreak some havoc on defense. And on offense, I am dropping Tyler Heath back again and again and again and again. We've seen him be able to climb the pocket, roll out, find guys downfield, and really make some high-quality throws in this game. And so, yeah, I feel like he can really do some damage if you just drop him back.
I think that the opportunities are there for the offense to make bigger plays than the 13 points show there on the board. Some of that has been due to drops. Some of that has been due to some miscommunication. There's been a time or two where Tyler Heath missed, and that's not the Paris Wildcats. That's not the Wildcats that we've seen 3 of the 4 weeks here in the high school football season. Of course, Pleasant Grove is just a dominant defense in Class 4A Division II, ranked number 2 in the state there, and they're in a dogfight with Sunnyvale, a top 10 team as well. So, the Paris Wildcats, I think that offensively, I'm with you. Let it lie on the shoulders of your signal caller, of your quarterback, and let the run game be a complement. It's not saying completely abandon the run game, all right? But that passing game will loosen things up. First thing you're going to have to do is come out and continue playing good defense. We saw that from the Paris Wildcats. They had a really stellar defensive performance. Had a, big play here or there from Lake Dallas, but otherwise, the Paris Wildcats certainly made them earn every single yard as Mitchell lines up to kick this one away, and the second half has begun. Really beautiful high short kick, fair catch called. And so the Paris Wildcat defense will come out, and I'll say that is a really, really good job by the sophomore left-footed kicker.
He's certainly got a leg on him. Paris able to hold the speedy DJ Hicks, number 1 of Lake Dallas, in check for that first half. If I'm Coach Hohenberger here, I am loading up the box. I'm sending guys. I'm playing press coverage. They haven't really shown the ability to beat you over the top, so I'm playing this second half much more aggressively on defense.
And what's interesting is, they seem like they're going to run 2 quarterbacks in this game. Usually it's Davis. This time it's the second man, and he's going to run right around the edge, and it'll be a quick first down for Lake Dallas up to the 36-yard line.
Some sneaky speed getting out to the edge there. I think caught Paris a little bit off guard, able to beat them off the edge for a first down.
The starter, Cash Davis, their junior quarterback, he's a guy who can run around a little bit too, but clearly, I believe this is Ryan Young. They hand off up the middle, and stuck at the line of scrimmage, Davion Harrison comes through and makes that stop along with Chris Garcia.
Now, it's interesting you mentioned this Ryan Young listed on the roster as a defensive back in the game. In the game at quarterback. And that's the 3rd guy we've seen as the signal caller for Lake Dallas.
Well, I do think it's Thurman. They got a 16 and an 18 lined up next to each other. Ryan Young. Ryan Young will be the signal caller. So we got it right the first time. Thurman is next to him. 2nd down and 10. And Boots Harper puts a stop to this one. First man there, and then Cam Floyd finishes it off. And that puts Lake Dallas behind the sticks.
And it looked like Boots Harper had him absolutely dead to rights, but Paris able to show off that strength and staying home and rallying on the boundary side.
Yeah, Boots was thinking a highlight reel, and then Cam Floyd was there trips to the bottom of your screen. 3rd down and 14 out of the gun. And now at quarterback is Ben Allen. You talk about a rotation at a position that doesn't rotate usually. Pressure, throws, and coming back for it. Did he make the catch? He did. And there's Hicks. Man, that's a tough ball to catch, and he was able to make the adjustment. And, man, what can you do?
And that's really their first explosive passing play of the game. Obviously, an incredible catch there over good coverage and a well-placed ball by one of 3 quarterbacks that Lake Dallas has featured in this game.
So Allen at quarterback, and he just gets swallowed up by Chris Garcia in the backfield.
Oh, man. Guess who? Chris Garcia. And, you know, there's some guys that they just feel like they're everywhere on the football field, no matter what side you're running to or where you are in pass coverage. It just feels like he's always there.
And Chris Garcia is that guy. As Allen out of the shotgun, takes the snap, hands it off, and this time, couple of yards, but that's going to be about it. And so 3rd down and 11.
We've seen Thurman break a few explosive runs in this game, particularly in their last possession before the half, but Paris doing a great job to rally there at the second level and prevent a big play.
Now here's where, as you were saying, I would bring that pressure. They're going to show 3 down linemen here, and it does look like they might have some guys coming, including Chris Garcia.
And they should bring them all right here. Ben Allen still in the game at quarterback.
And here comes Garcia around the edge. Rolling way out to the right side, and this pass is going to be incomplete. And that brings up 4th and 11. Now they're at the Paris Wildcat 41. And conventional once upon a time football would say you punt and pin them. Boy, 2025, your guess is as good as mine this day and age.
It's a new age, Steven, as we see Cash Davis check back into the game at quarterback for this 4th and 11. We'll see what they do here.
And so Davis will be the signal caller. And now he might be the one that steps and does a little pooch punt. There it is. Ooh.
Oh, no.
Boy, that one is ugly. And you can, Paris might have missed an opportunity to return that. Oh, that's a bummer.
Paris really should have made it more of an effort to down it there, as it takes a huge Lake Dallas bounce.
Yeah, Lake Dallas didn't make much of an effort to corral around the ball. But nonetheless, so a wonky kick ends up taking a great Lake Dallas bounce.
Absolutely. That punt was putrid. I mean, hit the ground about 7 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, but Lake Dallas catches a good break.
So 13-13, defense does their job, holds, and here comes Tyler Heath in the offense. They come out, spread, 4 wide, 2 to each side. And, of course, out of the gun. Heath throwing the out, and, you know, once again, that's a throw that Tyler Heath makes in his sleep.
Come on, man. Put some mustard on that one. You know, we see, I like what we're seeing from Paris here, spreading this defense out. I feel like that's going to be a winning formula for you, despite the miss from Tyler Heath.
This time they'll go trip set, bottom of the screen, looking, rolling to his right, and lets one go on the boundary. I think that's Red Finch who comes up with the catch. And I like that throw. Look, you know, you pick up half of what you need, but I call that passing as an extension of the run game. If you're not going to run the football, then throwing these short routes that are meant to pick up 5 yards can be a great compliment if you're not running the football.
see something over the middle of the field here. They've scarred Lake Dallas so far in this game over the middle.
And they're going to Finch. He's got it. Big play from Red Finch in this passing game, and there were 2 men there. And you talk about putting it on the money. Tyler Heath has had some misses, but he dotted it with that one.
Absolutely, and he didn't throw that one in the middle, right along the sideline between 2 defenders for the amazing play by Red Finch and Tyler Heath.
And now they're going to go quads with empty to the right side. And here's Jaron Ball trying to push that pile, and he does a little bit. They mark him for 4.
No, I don't mean to sound cliche, Steven, but it keeps the defense honest. You're beating them badly through the air. Mix it up a little bit. Don't let them drop everyone in coverage.
So we're going to have an injury timeout. Fortunately, it looks like kind of
stretched out for a cramp.
Working out a little cramp there. So we're going to keep it right here. Those types of things, and it tends to, he'll pop up, you work it out, and walk off the field. Now, we're not going to speculate anything further, as that, fortunately, is the case. Lake Dallas with a senior receiver of their own, Dallas Gates, walking off the field after working that out. 2nd down and 6 coming up. The officials will wind the clock momentarily. And we are back underway with Heath out of the shotgun, back to his right. Takes the snap. Heath stepping up, looking, firing across the middle, and finds Marquise Shelton. And Shelton has a 1st down.
Paris just playing with some punch, some energy at this moment. We kind of saw them get the ball to start the game and come out sleepy. Maybe a bit of tired vibes going on in the first half, but they look energized here to start out the second half on offense.
Yeah, Heath had that first errant throw, and then after that, man, he's been on the money. Handoff, Ball, trying to fight and pick his way through, and he'll be given 2 or 3 yards on this one. That'll set up 2nd down and 8. So Paris quickly marching down the field. Remember, this started at their own 13-yard line. And now at the Lake Dallas 34, off the arm of Tyler Heath, and a long hitter to Red Finch. And he's looking for another long one, and this one is caught.
That is incredible by
Finch
Red
again.
Finch.
And by the way, Red Finch came into this game averaging 25 yards per reception. That is remarkable. That's a great number. Handoff, Ball, trying to find some space. And, even when he's not finding a lot of space, they're getting a good push.
They are, and I got to say, Steven, I love Paris, hitting these explosive plays, these quick hitters getting right up on the ball, not giving the defense time to make substitutions, just going right for the jugular.
So now it's going to be 2nd and goal from the 4. And let's see, you've got a traditional personnel, usually around this area is where they'll bring in some big boys, record in motion left to right. Heath rolling out to his right, and that one's fortunately knocked away. It's just tight back there. I will say that Jaron Ball did a great job in pass pro pickup.
Absolutely, picking him up on the edge there. A player that looked to be about 100 pounds. His looked to have a significant size advantage on him, and Jaron Ball does a great job to pick him up and give his quarterback a chance.
So 3rd down and goal. Ball to the left of Heath. You've got Finch and Roberts stacked at the top. Here's the snap. And throwing it out. Ball into the end zone. Touchdown, Paris Wildcats, as the pressure was bearing down on Heath. Him and Baugh, they deliver.
And if you're this Paris offense, you know that you're a better offense with tons of weapons than the 13-point first half performance would suggest. This is where you have Tyler Heath and all of these guys really take over the game.
We've had a little bit of a complication on this particular part, the extra point, with Boots Harper holding. Mitchell, kick is up, and no problem here. Paris Wildcats, they lead 20-13 here in the third quarter. You're watching Paris Wildcat football here on Game Day.
Hello everyone, I'm Jason with Golden Corral in Texarkana. I've got big cheers going out to Lone Star Heating and Air. I talked with Matt Shirley over at Lone Star Heating and Air. They actually came out, looked to see what we needed. They ordered the supplies or the equipment and everything. They came in and they did the install. They did 2 units in one day with no business disruptions whatsoever. Thanks to Lone Star Heating and Air, we got our air up and going and everything's running good.
And we're back at Wildcat Stadium, where Paris puts another score on the board. The 4-yard pass from Tyler Heath to Jerron Ball. Third quarter brought to you by Drake Companies. Thank you so very much to Drake Companies for bringing you Paris Wildcat football and Paris Game Day. Game Day would not exist without Drake Companies. And Mitchell, who had a stellar kickoff. I mean, high, hanging, nothing you can really do with it. And let's see what the sophomore lefty is able to do here. This time he just bombs it to the end zone. And so it will be Lake Dallas coming out offensively, and who knows who's going to come out on offense for Lake Dallas at this point.
Absolutely. When we've seen those 3 different quarterbacks, you know, kind of going back to that previous drive, we saw Paris utilize so many different guys to generate explosive plays and move the ball down the field. I think that's just really speaks to a sign of a well-run program when your depth is that good and contributes that significantly to your program.
So it will be Allen. And what's interesting is he was the 3rd quarterback we've seen here tonight. They'll line up 4 wide and hand it off, and that's going absolutely nowhere. Screaming off the edge and making that tackle and flashing it a little bit is Cam Floyd.
Great player in the middle of this defense. We saw Cash Davis start the game for Lake Dallas, and later on we got a little taste of Ben Allen. And to start the second half, we saw Ryan Young go in the game at quarterback.
I've seen, teams, go 2, alternating series. I've never seen a team, and this one is batted away and incomplete. Boots Harper got up in the grill of Ben Allen and that one nearly had shades of DeMarcus Ware versus Atlanta 2007.
And I remember.
Any idea? You know what I'm talking about?
I remember
Look it up.
A similar DeMarcus Ware versus the Giants in 2011. It was the first year I was old enough to understand football, and he picked off Eli Manning right at the line of scrimmage, for those who remember.
Flag comes out. Let's see what this is. So this is interesting. I don't see too many men on the field for Lake Dallas, but sideline warning, perhaps. We could also just wait until they tell us.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, Lake Dallas sideline.
So not even a sideline warning. A straight unsportsmanlike conduct penalty will push them half the distance to the goal. And I tell you now, Lake Dallas is in dangerous territory because you're 3rd and a mile. Paris's offense got it going a little bit.
Absolutely, and with how Boots Harper has been terrorizing them in the backfield, I mean, start to really concern about some kind of turnover disaster here.
And here's a little pressure from the Wildcats escaping and trying to run for it. Allen is finally taken down. But, boy, he picked up a lot of that. I don't know if it's enough for Lake Dallas to say, let's go for it. Yeah, they're bringing the punt unit out.
Only down 1 score. You know, this game really hasn't – Paris has the momentum. This game has not gotten away from you yet. This is just a dangerous place to try to go for it on 4th down.
It's also – if I'm the special teams coach, I'm yelling to look out. Like, this is kind of fake punt territory. They are going to boot this one away, end over end. Oh, high hop, and then a Lake Dallas roll. So job well done once again by the Lake Dallas punting unit, but I'll tell you what, I will be happy to say that all night long.
Absolutely. You know, you did some really great things on offense last time. Just keep it going. It's like we said at the half, you know, drop your quarterback again and again. You haven't been able to do much on the ground, but you know, Tyler Heath has been able to fit it into some really tight windows. We've seen a lot of different weapons shine for Paris.
So Heath and the offense, who went 87 yards on their last drive, capped off by a 4-yard pass from Heath to Jerron Ball. Not quite the same distance, but still full length of the field. Split backfield. Record comes in motion. They'll hand it off going that way, trying to get a little wall for Keyshawn Roberts. And minimal gain as Lake Dallas did a good job in pursuit.
Second down and 9 to go.
Roberts this time will be lined up in the middle of a trip set. Heath takes the snap and has to avoid some pressure, and he does. He's able to escape. Has a long way to go to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he does, and some. And Tyler Heath is going to scamper out of bounds. Let's see how far he is from first down. He got pretty close.
You know, I've got another obscure Cowboys reference for you. Tony Romo gets the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, there's several turns. you could reference a lot of Romo plays like that.
Just creating some magic. You know, there were about 3 different guys who should have had him dead to rights back at his own goal line, but he gets a great gain, sets him up with a 3rd and short off of a blown protection.
Marquise Shelton, single receiver at the bottom of your screen. 3rd down. They'll hand it off to Gio Dawson, who's right at the sticks, and they stop the clock. That means, yeah, let's move them. That's a first down. Keyshawn Roberts along with Record coming out onto the field.
All right, now this is the point for Paris. You avoided going 3 and out. Tyler Heath able to create on the ground with his legs. This is where you really do some damage with all these weapons you have on offense.
Heath. Interesting. I don't know if you saw the D-line as he goes deep to Record, and this one is just kind of having to be broken up. The defensive line just threw themselves to the ground on the snap. It was very, very odd. And it not like a dive at the knees. I don't even think they made contact with the Paris offensive line. They just quite literally fell down on their stomachs.
And I don't think any contact was made at all. This is just, and I have to say the least.
So that's like by design, whatever the reason.
This Lake Dallas defense is very unorthodox.
2nd down, fakes the handoff. Heath rolling to his right, throws to Record, and Record can't quite come up with it. Tough throw, and now it brings up 3rd and long. And they're going to throw a flag way, way late after the play. And Lake Dallas is high-fiving. We had some severe flopping going on.
Yeah, it didn't look like anything from Record at all, if that's who this is on.
I think, not to talk too much about personal fouls, I think a kid walked up to him, record kind of put his hand in the guy's chest, like, get away from me, and the guy just jumped as high and far backwards as that young man could. And he will be rewarded.
You know, walking through the halls of a high school, a lot of the time the best play actors are not your theater kids, but rather your football players.
I'm going to hold my tongue on the soccer comments, though. You know. You can get a red card for that now.
For the flop?
Yep. Diving. It's called diving in soccer.
2025. What a world we live in.
I know. But it'll set Paris back. Now, we have an official timeout here, and Coach Hohenberger is asking them to discuss something. I'm not sure what it is. Now, the scoreboard has 3rd and 25. They have 4th down on the marker. So that could be what the conversation is.
Yeah, whether or not it was a dead ball personal foul, or it certainly was, so.
The down should count.
Exactly right.
Yeah, and here comes the punt unit. And this time, you know, you can line up with your offense and your quarterback is the pooch punter and all that stuff, and that's fine whenever you can actually put the thought in the defense's head that our quarterback might throw this ball. On 4th and 25, there's no shot of that. Instead, you'll have Boots Harper bang one and a returnable play for Lake Dallas, and a big return. This one might go. Harper, the last line of defense, comes up and makes the stop.
Boots Harper went flying, sort of a desperate effort to save the touchdown. Now Lake Dallas set up with excellent field position here.
He gets down to the 22-yard line.
Sudden change. This is where you calm down as a defense and remember your fundamentals, Steven.
And so for Lake Dallas, they're going to start at the 22-yard line. And the Paris Wildcat defense really needing to stand tall here. Hand off. Garcia, along with a swarm of Paris Wildcats. There to make the stop, a 1-yard gain.
Well, we'll note on this drive, junior Cash Davis back in the game at quarterback.
I don't have a clue. Like, I think that the Allen kid looked pretty good. I thought Davis did a good job in now it's, I believe it's still
Cash Davis.
Still Davis. They'll fake the handoff, throwing into the one-on-one coverage on the other end, and that'll go incomplete.
These Paris defensive backs have been winning in single coverage all night. You know, you mentioned the quarterback rotation. I cannot think of what the rationale may be for a triple quarterback rotation. Especially, you know, this is not a non-conference game. This is a district game that'll matter for the rest of the season.
We have a scoring update. Frisco Panther Creek leading Salina 21-14. And by the way, this game I believe is in Salina. About midway through the third quarter. Our producer's mind is blown.
That is certainly a piece of news.
So 3rd down, faking the handoff, under pressure, throws the out way too far, incomplete. And the Paris Wildcat defense stands, and this is right in the range of their big-time kicker. Now, there is zero doubt that he has the distance here. Of course, you got to keep it left to right. Kick is up, and looks like it's good with plenty to spare. So Lake Dallas adds points, 20-16. The Paris Wildcats still leading and taking the kickoff when we return here on Game Day.
Raffaele Property Management, keeping our tenants comfortable is a top priority. That's why we trust Lone Star Heat and Air. They've always been dependable, quick to respond, and their work is top-notch. Whether it's routine service or an urgent call, they take care of it with professionalism and care. We couldn't recommend Lone Star Heat and Air more for anyone looking for a reliable HVAC service.
And we're back here on Paris Game Day, 20-16. Wildcats with the lead and about to get the football. And, you know, as long as Paris can keep moving down the field like they did on that first drive of the second half, I'll trade touchdowns and field goals.
Absolutely. You know, you love to bend and not break there if you're the Wildcat defense. It's preventing Lake Dallas from even getting a single first down as the ball falls off the tee here. You'll see it.
And he runs a long way back. He gets a 15-yard run at the football. So Dennehy kind of running sprints back and forth.
Wildcat fans, make some noise for your Wildcats. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
The deep man is Keyshawn Roberts for the Paris Wildcats. Red Finch back there as well. And they kick it real short, and it'll be taken by Brown. Makes a man miss, and another move. And the sophomore, Fabian Brown, pushes the ball up to about the 47-yard line for the Paris Wildcats, and that's where the offense comes out.
Fabian Brown, you know, as you mentioned, will undoubtedly be a big part of the future of this program. Just a young guy who's a real bright spot on this team.
You know, going out to practices back in, you know, late July, early August, you know, for Coach Hohenberger, I'd be like, man, I'm excited about Red. I'm excited about Keyshawn. I like what I see from Marquise Shelton. And he's like, Fabian Brown. You know, keep an eye, Fabian Brown.
So he lines up on the boundary side.
Shotgun, plenty of time. Now having to roll out to the right side and just eventually throwing this one away. Brown did try to come back to the ball, too little too late. 2nd down and 10.
Lake Dallas able to generate a little pressure. They still have not registered a sack on Tyler Heath in this game.
Yeah, last time they got close, Heath escaped and ended up running for a first down or close to it. This time they get him to jump, and the defensive lineman making contact, so the play is blown dead. And that's, you know, if you're Lake Dallas, you got to stop on first down. That's pretty big, giving up half that distance. I tell you, pre-snap penalties, it doesn't matter, offense, defense. Pre-snap penalties are probably the most hard to swallow, if you will. Out of the gun, Heath taking the snap, looking right, under pressure, escapes, and finds a man downfield, misses Fabian Brown, and he would have been standing in the end zone.
Absolutely. The man carrying him downfield looks to be struggling with cramps once again.
Yeah, same young man. Hopefully that's still the case, and so this time we will step aside for a commercial break. We will be right back here on Game Day.
Yay! We're so excited you decided to become a member.
Thanks, I didn't think it would be this easy.
I know. We've opened up memberships so even more people can take advantage of our amazing services.
Are you gonna clean this up?
Become a new member and take advantage of all RRCU can offer. Experience the credit union difference anytime, anywhere.
No, seriously, are you gonna clean this up?
Do you RRCU?
The back pocket. And back on game day, as looks like Dallas Gates is able to walk off under his own power, thankfully. Certainly what we want every single time. And for the Paris Wildcats, it'll be 3rd down and 5. Coming out 4 wide for Paris. Out of the gun, man comes in motion. That's Roberts. And Lake Dallas bringing some pressure. Heath turning the corner and looking for somewhere to go with the football, and this one is going to be knocked away. And so that'll bring up 4th down and 5. So Paris, they get the penalty on 1st down to make it 2nd and 5, and haven't been able to gain a yard ever since. And so now you're likely to see that pooch punt from the Paris Wildcats. And Heath gets a really good one away that's going to take a bounce, but a Lake Dallas bounce to the 19. And that's where the defense will come back out. And, man, you know, that miss to Fabian Brown in the middle of the field, that's the one that really, really hurt the Paris Wildcats, and they just weren't able to find much beyond that.
You want that one back if you're Tyler Heath, to be sure.
And I'm not sure. So what it looked like is Heath threw more of a post, whereas Brown was running flat. And you never know. It could be Heath, you know, throwing the post should have been flat, or it could have been, should have been a post when he ran flat. We have no idea. As Lake Dallas, they hand off.
No, you do like Lake Dallas on the long field here. They haven't really proven the ability to, you know, put together these long, sustained drives. So a lot of space to kind of settle into this drive and really make them fight for every yard.
2nd and 6 coming up for Lake Dallas, and we are nearing the end of the 3rd quarter. Here's the snap, and they do hand this one off. Cam Floyd coming in, making the play, 1-yard gain. That brings up 3rd and 5 for Lake Dallas, and Floyd just tearing off his block to make that play.
Absolutely, showing off the strength, getting the single arm out there, bringing down the ball carrier. Probably saves an explosive play, a big gain there.
And depending on what happens here, this could possibly be the final play of the 3rd quarter. Lake Dallas will have to run a play.
10-second difference between the play clock and game clock.
And Lake Dallas is going to have to call a timeout as it was running down. Timeout Lake Dallas. Paris leading 20-16. 3rd down and 5 coming up here on Game Day.
We're here at the biggest game of the year for the kickoff. And I say these local guys have no competition, John.
No doubt, Stephen. Why sweat in the press box?
When you can sit like a king.
And we got the best seats in the house right here, baby.
Where every seat is the best seat.
Oh, yeah. Texas Furniture and Appliance. Local since 1927.
These players are definitely in their comfort zone.
You say something?
And out of the timeout, 2nd half timeouts tonight, brought to you by Glass Land and Home. Brian Glass making Paris Game Day possible for you guys here in Lamar County and Paris Wildcat faithful. Lake Dallas facing 3rd down and 5 from their own 25. So this is certainly a scenario of just don't let it happen. Don't let them pick up the 1st down. There is no 4-down territory at this part of the field, and they're going to fake the handoff, and one man to beat, and he beats him, and he's right down the sideline for a huge gain, and that is something we've seen. That's tough.
And it really looked like Boots Harper had gotten a hand on that passer. Maybe they had him corralled on the field side there, but an impressive run. You know,
share that thought with us on the other end of this break. Fourth quarter action coming up right around the corner here on Paris Game Day.
Ready to rep your school and your wallet?
I'm here to open a student account and score that sweet school debit card.
With no monthly fees, mobile banking, and a debit card that shows your school pride, our student account is built for your game plan.
Get in the game. Open yours today.
First Federal Community Bank, the only bank you'll ever need.
First Federal Community Bank, the only bank you'll ever need.
And back here on Game Day, fourth quarter action on the way. Fourth quarter tonight, brought to you by Roadrunner Service and Tire. Mike Davidson, brother, has been a huge supporter of Lamar County sports, whether it's just cheering them on or volunteering to officiate, whatever the case may be. So thank him very much. Here's a jet sweep, and they're trying to pass this one. A little bit of action, Philly special, if you will, and they make it happen a little underwhelmingly. It's a 7-yard gain.
With Ryan Young back in the game at quarterback, now checks out in favor of Cash Davis.
And I hate that, there was a lot of chaos in the backfield on that play. And that's one of those that, man, you are right there to being very disruptive and making something happen defensively.
Absolutely. A lot of almosts for Paris so far in this game.
2nd and 3, Davis back in at quarterback. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, going straight down the field and incomplete.
See, that right there is why I say Paris should absolutely load up this box and bring pressure on every single play. Lake Dallas has seen extraordinarily little separation so far in this game, and this secondary has played absolutely lights out. So if I'm Paris, I'm going 6-7 guys in the box and really forcing them to throw the ball.
So third down, but I would say Lake Dallas is going to feel this is 4-down territory. So for Lake Dallas, this is an area where you can probably run the football. Instead, they'll throw it out into the flat and pick up the first down.
Boots Harper again, just coming, it felt like an inch from breaking up that pass, but, kind of the same situation as we see Hicks catch it on the boundary and create a little something, and Lake Dallas picks up the first down.
Yeah, they're throwing into the pressure, and Boots has had, times whenever he's been able to break that up, and then other times, they have been able to burn it like is intended, but nonetheless, a new set of downs, and here comes the reverse, and Paris sniffed that out immediately, and here they come, and that's a big loss.
Oh, and that's a lovely sight. The 11 Wildcats over there to corral him, essentially, as his 10 teammates kind of stood and watched.
Yeah, and Hicks just immediately walks off to the sideline. Because I'll tell you what, there is nothing worse for a ball carrier than to be the guy who takes a long developing play deep in the backfield and you look up and there's nothing but a sea of blue jerseys. So 2nd down and 17. Davis dropping back, has time, throws deep and incomplete, and just right in the hip pocket, man.
The passing game, certainly not their strength in this game. They've tried Paris again and again in single coverage down the field where you see a high safety or man coverage rolling with them all the way down the field and really locking down these Lake Dallas receivers. They've had to design some gadget plays to get Hicks out on the edge, really to create any sort of explosive offense at all.
3rd and 17. Seems like a great position to be in. Paris has struggled in this spot here tonight.
You'll see them all playing up to the line here. They know
pressure got him. Chris Garcia drops him at midfield. And I tell you, Evan, you ever thought about being a DC? Because you've been asking for it all night. Dial up the pressure. Go after him. Your corners are sticking to the receivers. Make them make mistakes. And here, it's now 4th and, what'd you say, back to the Walmart parking lot?
Walmart parking lot, and you just love when you can really catch them off guard with that pressure. Almost didn't know what to do with it, Cash Davis.
So another big punt, returnable for Paris, and having to make a man miss instead ends up being dropped about a yard back from where he caught it. That was Wallace. Made a big play earlier in this game as the Paris Wildcat offense comes back out. And kind of, when they have moved down the field and scored, you've been like, yeah, that looked easy. It looked like there wasn't a lot of resistance from Lake Dallas. But when they're not scoring, it looks very discombobulated, miscommunications, just throws aren't on target. It's a lot of all or nothing from the Paris Wildcat offense tonight.
And I really couldn't agree more. I mean, on both sides of the ball, we've seen so many almosts in this game. Throws narrowly missed, timings a little bit off. We'll see if they can correct that here on this drive.
Heath takes the snap, hands off, Ball. And Ball, I'll say this, has stayed ahead of the chains. He's getting you to the 2nd and 3, 2nd and 7, 2nd and 6 type situation. So you're not getting hit at or behind the line of scrimmage. Haven't been able to see him break the explosive runs that we've seen the last couple of weeks.
Which we know he can do.
100%. He'll be joined by Keyshawn Roberts in the backfield. Fake the handoff. Heath stepping up. Kind of bluffs with the ball and then saves the yards. He'll pick up about 1.
Steven, you can undertell Tyler Heath. You can absolutely understand that Tyler Heath has the number of this defense right now. I mean, him stepping up in the pocket, avoiding the pressure, the pump fakes. He knows exactly how they're moving, and they have scarcely laid a finger on him all night long.
And we haven't seen, maybe the one time where he broke the tackles way back in the backfield, but otherwise we haven't really seen Tyler Heath take off for long runs like we're used to on those scrambles. Needs to watch out. He's got pressure from behind, and Heath will go down, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Time starts on the tackle. It's 4th down for the Wildcats.
They're blowing the clock. And I'm not sure exactly what the reason. So this is back near the original line of scrimmage. I believe it would be 4th down and 9, but they haven't moved the sticks.
They haven't, and the down marker's still showing 3 at this point.
And I see some Lake Dallas players that he just picked up a flag. The official just picked up a flag that was being shielded by the Lake Dallas players on that side of the field. And so we're going to, they're marching back towards the sideline. I think Paris is going to get bailed out. What did he say?
Now, it was hard to hear from up here. Paris will gain 5 yards.
It'll be 3rd and 1. Well, not from that. Yeah, from the looks of that, that's there you go. And man, if you're Lake Dallas, that could be backbreaking, especially if Paris goes and scores here.
Absolutely.
And I'm still not entirely sure. It wasn't. The signal was kind of like hand across the chest. And I have,
Looked to be in the area of holding, but no automatic first down.
So it will be a first down. Handoff ball, and he is stuck at the line of scrimmage. Might have lost a yard. Really tough. I say might have lost a yard. They gave him a yard.
Gain of 1 on the play. 2nd and 9 at the 29.
Clock rolling. 2nd down and 9 out of the gun. Snap back. Heath having to avoid the pressure, and he'll be taken down. Just nowhere to go. This Lake Dallas defense has come out to play tonight.
They might have sort of figured out on defense just how to get to Tyler Heath, you know, bringing more guys.
On the tackle, Jerry Guerrero Gonzalez.
2 sacks on this series, as we had seen him, you know, not go down before in this game.
And there's the pop pass to Keyshawn Roberts, trying to seal off the edge, and Roberts ran out of bounds. So it'll end up being 4th down. And as a matter of fact, it's going to end up being 4th down right around the spot it was 4th down earlier. So this is one heck of a ball game here tonight. I mean, defensively, both teams have been outstanding. And then offensively, man, it's just been one or the other. Boots puts a boot on it, and it touches, and the Paris Wildcats had an opportunity to jump on it, and they don't.
Oh, a huge missed opportunity on the muffed punt. You know, it's so easy running at the football to miscalculate how it's rolling, and
the oblong ball, yeah.
Lake Dallas catches a major lucky break to set them up near midfield.
Well, part of the break, the bigger break, is keeping the football. The other break is that ball rolls about 7 or 8 yards into Paris Wildcat territory.
Almost a net positive on a
on
the muffed punt there.
100% is a net positive. And so for the Paris Wildcats, and you've got to get to work defensively, and Ben Allen's going to turn the corner, and he's got blockers and gets taken down.
Ben Allen, one of our 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah, I still don't know. Like, looking at the skill set, I still can't really figure it out.
We've seen them both make some impressive throws. We can see that Allen has a bit of a size advantage as he takes it for a big gain there.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, what one guy has over the other. And here's Boots Harper getting a sack in the backfield. And that's another big loss.
Oh, man. Big guys make big plays in big games. 6 minutes to go, a little bit less than. It's a 4-point game. That is exactly the kind of star you need to make a play on this defense.
And Lake Dallas, you know, they're kind of in a position against this clock, especially a 40-second play clock in high school football, where, yeah, you got the big leg kicker, but what good does he really do you as this starts to wind down in this ball game? And here they go again. Jabraylon Hughes this time. Another yard loss.
Oh, man. Lake Dallas squanders a massive opportunity to really take the lead and put themselves in great position. 3rd and long, and this is gonna be tough to convert.
Yeah, and like I said, Cooper Dennehy has a big leg. He ain't Brandon Aubrey, and nor would 3 points really do you much good at this point. 3rd down, and a long way to go. 20, for Lake Dallas. Dropping back, more pressure, screen coming, and making the tackle, Chris Garcia. When they needed a big play, all the leaders of the Paris Wildcats, you talk about one senior after another, Harper, Jabraylon Hughes, Chris Garcia, they come up to put a stop to Lake Dallas here late in the fourth.
Your big guys, your stars, shining when it matters most as Lake Dallas sends the punt team on.
And that is as beautiful of a punt as you can get, and it'll roll into the end zone. And so that might be a little bit of the break that you need, because the punter has, I don't know if you could see the spiral on that thing. It looked like he tossed it in the air.
That was a pretty punt. Now, let's think about this game situation. If you're Paris, you've struggled to run the football tonight. I would lean more into some short throws. You can absolutely ice this game right now. As you mentioned, the 40-second play clock in high school football.
Yeah, you aren't a drive and a score away from winning. You're a couple of first downs away from winning. Now, Lake Dallas has 2 timeouts, and you have the newly implemented 2-minute timeout. But otherwise, you're going to force Lake Dallas to take those timeouts. You need your run game to come up big, because it looks like they're going to lean on it. They faked the run. Heath, under pressure, nowhere really to go with it, and he finds a receiver who cuts back in wisely, and that's a big play. That is a huge play.
Oh, and that's the value of a guy like Tyler Heath, motioning guys down the field, rolling out right, and just placing it right over the defender. That's a great telltale sign of a good quarterback, somebody who can layer the ball over the defense. Great play by Tyler Heath.
Not only that, but I'll tell you what, Tyler Heath finding Jeremiah Humphrey, that's the second big catch that Humphrey has made.
It's like we'll see Chris Garcia check into this football game.
Yeah, and I think that we're going to take this all the way down as far as we can, and then Paris is going to take a timeout. It'll be 2nd down and 1 on the other side of this timeout. 20-16, Paris with the lead, trying to close this game and come away with their first district win here on Paris Game Day.
At Moore Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Paris, we can make your next vehicle purchase simple, stress-free, and built around you. Whether you're looking for a rugged Ram truck, an adventurous Jeep, or a quality pre-owned, we have the right vehicle for you at the right price. And with over 700 5-star reviews, our customers know that our friendly, knowledgeable staff is here for you. So come see us off the loop in Paris, Texas, and for more details, visit morecdjr.com.
And back here on Game Day, it is 2nd down and 1. And if you're Paris, you'd love to be able to just, line it up, run it, pick up that first down. That is the ideal scenario. They showed that on 1st down and then threw it. But they are going to go straight handoff, running. And Baugh, second effort. He gets the 1st down. They will stop the clock to reset the chains and then get it going again.
What we saw from Lake Dallas there, defensive linemen all on the snap, all fall right to the ground.
And by the way, let's say, situationally, Lake Dallas gets the ball back without Paris scoring. They would have to get into the end zone. So picking up one more 1st down probably ends this. If that's not the case, get a good punt off. Paris is in a great situation. Handoff, ball up the middle, and Baugh pushing the pile. And that'll stop the clock in time to reset the chains, and then we go to the 2-minute timeout. And the Paris Wildcats can smell blood. They can smell their first win in District 7 4A Division 1. We'll step aside for the 2-minute timeout. We'll be right back here on Game Day.
Sorry you're under the weather, Susie. Here are those loan docs.
Thanks, James. I'm so glad we didn't have to delay this closing.
Tissue?
Thanks.
Secure and safe loan closings, or take care of just about any banking task. Experience the credit union difference. Anytime, anywhere. With RRCU's digital banking. Do you RRCU?
The Lake Dallas run defense, Evan, had been incredibly stingy all night long, and they were even stingy on that 2nd down and 1 run. Jerron Ball, with the second effort, reaches across, picks up the 1st down, and then he gets what I think 10 yards, the longest run of the night for him to pick up another 1st down. And you are pretty much one away, 1 1st down, even though the scoreboard here says that Lake Dallas has 4 timeouts left. I doubt it. I don't think that's it. Here's the snap. Ball picking his way through. And now Lake Dallas will burn one of their timeouts. They have 1 remaining, by the way.
Jaron Baugh having some of his most impressive runs of the night, right when it matters most. There's not much more left for Paris to put this game on ice. You got to think Lake Dallas has not really shown the ability to drive the length of the field, or we haven't seen any of their 2-minute drill to this point, and Paris just needs a couple more solid runs to really close this one out.
Well, and like I was saying, let's say, just in a hypothetical situation, you're at midfield, you don't gain another yard, all right? They'll call one more timeout. You have another play to run, and then that clock will be right around 1 minute, if you will. Get a good punt off. If you get a good punt off and limit the return, you're looking at Lake Dallas having to go the length of the field, no timeouts, with under 50 seconds to go.
Very advantageous if you're Paris.
You can also just pick up this 1st down and win the game. That would be preferred. As Jerron Ball pushing, fighting, Jerron Ball taking off, and he'll be taken down at the 30-yard line. He could see the daylight. Jerron Ball.
Remember when I talked about big guys in big games, Jerron Baugh, his 2 longest runs of the night in a possession where you really needed some runs to ice the game, and he comes up big.
Absolutely, he does. And I'll tell you what, this is the kind of win that as a coach, you know what, we missed some opportunities. We had our backs against the wall from time to time, and when it came down to it, these young men got the job done. Coach Hohenberger calls a timeout, took the clock down as far as he could, and the Paris Wildcats can kneel this one out regardless of what Lake Dallas does the rest of the way. We'll be right back here on Paris Game Day.
I'm Josh Charette, project manager with 2B Builders. We're a local GC here in Texarkana. We have Lone Star out here doing our heating and AC. They do a good job for us. We really appreciate the customer service that they provide. I know that at Lone Star Heating and Air, I can always call Matt or Dave, their head commercial HVAC guy, and they will always pick up the phone when I need them. And that's a big thing when we're working out here on these commercial projects. Usually when we're in a bind, we need something and we need it pretty quickly, and we can rely on Lone Star for that.
And we're back here on Game Day, and I think you're about to see victory. Yeah, Jerron Ball lined up about 10 yards off.
What a quality win for these Paris Wildcats.
Heath stepping back. And, of course, Lake Dallas is going to call a timeout, but we're going to keep it right here on Paris Game Day as there is about 1 minute remaining, and that's the third and final timeout. Second down, you can kneel it. There's going to be about 20 seconds remaining. You can kneel it again, and that's it. So as long as you execute that process, we're home free tonight, Evan.
And this is the kind of win you absolutely love as a coach. When you've got a group of mature guys who can go out there and hold on in a close game, I think that bodes really well for you as you move on to the rest of your district schedule.
Absolutely. And speaking of the rest of the district schedule, Sulphur Springs annihilates Aubrey 45-14, and Frisco Panther Creek and Salina 28-28 with 3 minutes to go. And I tell you, a lot of people, myself included, thought Salina was just going to steamroll once again. And there's another kneel from Tyler Heath. Clock's going to run. And once this thing gets under 40, then you can line up, put it down one more time, and head to the locker room.
Good teams find ways to win games, and I think as this season goes on, you will see the Wildcats as major contenders in a very tough district, Stephen.
Absolutely, and some really good stuff here tonight from the Paris Wildcats, who are now 1-0 in district play. Coach Hohenberger and Coach Pointer share a massive, enthusiastic handshake as the teams line up, and they will be shaking hands, and the Paris Wildcats feeling it tonight. A winner 20-16 over Lake Dallas. And for Reed Preston, also Evan Brazil, thank you guys so very much. And our camera crew, Brittany Young, Ava Langley, and all that were involved here tonight. Tatiana, thank you guys so very much. You've been watching Paris Wildcat football here on Paris Game Day. Next week, we've got the in-town rivalry, Prairieland versus Chisholm. Tune in here on Game Day. Good night, everyone.